Let's try that again.
That should be working.
Right.
Just something about those old dusty bottles like that.
Yeah.
The flavors are just
Well, and when you drink any bourbon, you get a bite.
yeah.
You know, anything today has
What
a
is
little bit
going
of bite.
on?
But
you piece of
the one thing about all these Dusties when you drink them is I really don't get much bite.
It's
Yeah.
not reconnecting.
You might
it's
get
live,
a little
right?
hug.
It's live.
Yeah.
It
You get a little
says
heat sometimes with the
27
finish,
seconds,
but
yeah.
the bite is not the same. It does not bite you in the front.
Yeah. I agree.
There we are. We're live.
I hope
Okay.
so.
You want to turn it towards a little bit more towards
If I turn it any
towards
more,
CT a little.
okay. I can do it that way.
Let me see what happens.
The only thing with me is I'm
That's
gonna be
perfect.
blocking, so I'm probably going to see if I can scoot back a little bit
Go ahead.
Yeah.
like that. So maybe I'm not blocking you right now.
So I'm going to come in here.
So I'll just be
That's
off
working.
the screen for
Yeah.
Facebook, and I'll
Do
be
we
on
have
the screen for
do we have
YouTube.
sound?
See if I can scoot back.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
We have sound. We got people walking. Welcome to our year in review. That's working. All right. I'll put this over
All
here.
right.
Okay.
Well, we've
We've
wasted enough time, so let's jump right into it and let's get to some sponsors.
Well, let me just real quick.
Oh yeah.
Real quick.
Real quick.
Mm,
Well, I thought we were trying to slow it down a little bit. And,
I can get this out of my way now. All right.
so you got a little sip of
What are-
JW Dan.
Yeah, and that is like even better than. Now, did you bring the old Fitz 13,
Yep.
which is a 25 or whatever?
Yep.
Okay,
Very, very
that
special.
would be like to.
It's hotter than this, though. This is a mellower drinker.
But I would like
Mhm.
to compare taste wise because I think as a Dusty, this is very close because there's not a lot of funk on this one.
We could go through the weeded.
You know what I mean?
We could progress to the rise.
All right. So what we want to do is go through our sponsors. I'll start off. We'll each do one, and you get to do the big one. You know, our newest one. We'll mention them because this is our year in review.
Sure.
We have 4 sponsors.
Yeah.
So we had Rosewood Bourbons and Ryes, Jason Giles out of Texas. I think this is pretty much getting close to the end of his sponsorship because I don't know what's happening with the brand. But if you see it on the shelf, what
good.
Jason has done, he bought barrels from, and he was always doing barrel picks, but he bought the barrels from Indiana and Kentucky, shipped them down to Kentucky. He ages them for one season, you know, one hot summer at least in Texas, ships them down there. So they get sloshed around for 900 miles in their semi, and then it comes down. He ages them in that hot Texas heat, and it really does some nice things to the bourbon, in my opinion. And so that's one of the reasons we got to try it. He sent up some samples, and we got to try it, and it was really kind of cool. How it tasted, I was impressed. Plus, he was distilling at Bardstown Bourbon Company. I don't know where it's going from then on, but you know, this last quarter, I just told him I'd keep him on and keep promoting the brand. He was on Bourbon Outfitters. I'm not sure if it's still on. Last time I checked, it was not up there. But if you see it on the shelf, you got to grab it off the shelf. What Jason has done is really kind of nice.
Absolutely.
So then, do you want to take
Alan Bishop.
Sure.
You do it. Yeah.
We have our good friend Alan Bishop, which is a distiller at Old Homestead Distilling. But he does 2 podcasts. One podcast is One Piece at a Time Distilling, which he goes on and helps you with home distillers with issues and problems that they might be having, and gives them information to help them along with their craft. And he also has another podcast that if you have spirits, you have everything, which combines.
Ghosts.
Yeah, if you have ghost.
But I like the idea of spirits.
Yeah.
If you have spirits, you have everything. Too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have ghosts, you have everything. But it combines the best of the 2 worlds.
Yeah, best of the 2 worlds, which is alcohol spirits and spirits of the supernatural, and combines them both together in a podcast, which is just really cool, super cool to listen to, and and all. And that is Alan Bishop. And if you get a chance, listen to one of the 2 podcasts. you can't go wrong.
Right. You want me to do Amin or you?
Yeah, you do Amin.
Okay. Yeah, and our newest sponsor that we brought on here just recently was Old Louisville. So if you've been to Louisville, I feel like they're the one that kind of he gets not as much notoriety because it's not right downtown with the stuff in Louisville. But Amin has been doing some great stuff. Usually you see his bottles in the area, but they're like nice bottles that people in a lot of places they're in behind glass cases. They don't put them just out on the shelf because the stuff is aged typically 7 years to 18 years. So we're glad to have him on board, and he is sponsoring our barrel bash that we do on Thursdays. And we will barrel bash anything. It can be a $300 bottle, a $20 bottle. We'll give you our honest opinion, and we appreciate Amin coming on board with us to make that happen. So
yeah, that's usually a fun night. I always enjoy those nights. Like I say, I never know what we're going to get to taste or bash, but thanks to Amin.
And people that watch this don't always know the complexity of making that happen because Jeff lives in Canton. I live between Dayton and Columbus.
And
Nash
lives in
Nash is in South Carolina. So when we do these barrel bashes, we're sending samples all across the country, it seems like, to get everybody on board. And sometimes we can't. You can't be available. I can't be available. Yeah. So we do our best. But
those nights when you guys can't be available are the easy barrel bashes for me.
Right.
No samples have to be set out. I come down here looking, I'm like, oh, I'll barrel bash this tonight. But yes, when you guys are coming on,
but it's a complex.
We do that every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. That podcast that we do live, and we pretty much keep that one consistent throughout the year. We do the Tuesdays at 8:30, but a lot of times if we go visit someplace, I will supplement a podcast in on Tuesdays to give myself a chance to catch up on editing and stuff like that. But what Amin brought to the table, and he's just a great guy. Getting to know him. And then we've got our last two sponsors. I'll cover Whiskey Thief, I'll cover the Spirit of French Liquid, and then one of you can take the Whiskey Thief because Whiskey Thief is or maybe take it both together because what happens there and all the people there and everything there.
You start off,
and Walter, but the Spirit of French Lick, I'm going to be contacting them coming up. Hopefully, they will have us for another year sponsorship, but they've been with us to the beginning, and our last two barrel picks were Lillian Sinclair.
Oh, they're right above you.
Yep. There's the Lillian Sinclair back there and the William Dalton. We did those picks right at the end when Alan Bishop was leaving to go to Old Homestead, where he's at now. And those picks are fantastic. Anybody interested, let me know. But what's Alan's whiskey is there, aging, fantastic whiskey. I mean, the William Dalton, in my opinion, that weeded bourbon is up there with almost any weeded that, with the big guys.
Yeah,
now we're getting some age on it.
There's some barrels in there that are, and that Lost River line, that there's some barrels aging in that rick house that they were.
It was one of the most, we grew up with them, and it's one of the most mature whiskey collections that I've ever been associated, because Alan was very passionate about other ways of 4 grains. Not most craft distillers were doing what he was doing on the side. A lot of times they just make their base things and they have them, and then they may do a double oak or whatever, but he was doing the different mash bills. The Lillian Sinclair mash bill.
He was working grain more than
he loves to do he was doing all the different malts, honey malting, chocolate malting. I mean, the Charles.
How about the chocolate oat? Was it the chocolate oat that we tried there that he said he had to hand do the oats?
Yep.
Yes, it was.
And was like, took days to do those oats. And I'm like, nobody's doing that.
No.
I mean,
that was a hand labor. He actually said that was a hand labor of love to do that day.
I mean, this is just the Charles E. Ballard. I mean,
that's
this thing
is
just
so.
It sure is.
I mean, it tastes like Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, it's Cocoa Puffs.
I mean, it's just like just all the different things that the Spirit of French Lick and what Alan has put out. If you're in the area, you got to stop by because most of the stuff on the shelf is still his. We don't know what's happening going forward. But
most of the stuff in the rick house is still his.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
absolutely, because he was laying that stuff down when he first got there.
They're going to have some.
And I would say maybe
And a shout out
about 10 years ago.
Big
Yeah.
Red
A
Lakers.
shout out to old Dale Bishop, who just had hip replacement
Yep.
surgery, and he seems, so as far as I know, he's doing fine. But a cheers to him. And then last but not least, as far as our
next
sponsor,
you
and
start
actually
off with?
up front, straight up. I
Yeah,
mean, we're
we
talking.
have our newest one, Walter Zausch at Whiskey Thief Distilling. Their main distillery is located on Three Boys Farm, and you can go in Frankfurt. Yeah, you can go there, and when you go there, you can actually walk into this barn. You can actually see where they distill. They got the pot still there, the wooden fermenters there. But then all of a sudden you walk in, and then you have these barrels laid out on the floor.
Yep.
You can actually for a sampling price, you get thieved right straight from the barrel into your little sample glass, and from usually about 5 different barrels, 5 different mash bills. And if you like it, then you're able to bottle your own, thieve and bottle your own, a 375 milliliter or 750 milliliter bottle of what you like. You're able to thieve and fill it yourself right there. And they also have a location that's located now. They just opened up about a month ago down in Nulu, which is right downtown Louisville, that you can go to. And this place is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, the one thing about Whiskey Thief is any brand starts from the top down, and with Walter, it's great. The man is just as nice a human being as you could want. He's very personable. He takes you through everything, and he's usually there. I mean,
Yes.
so many times we've been there before we really even got to know him, and he'd be there doing things. The fact that they've brought on people like Kelly to do distilling, and she's
Derek,
amazing.
Kelly
and Derek.
Tennille and
And
Derek.
Derek.
Burger.
Yep.
Very.
Yeah.
So with Kelly and Derek and just the
Spraverlini.
group that he's building around the brand, they have a lot of good things going, and they built their new Rick House that's on site. There's nothing but potentially going to be just crazy for them. They're going to keep growing. I will say this: we talk about it on the tour. If you're in Frankfurt, Louisville, Lexington, and you're going on a tour, Whiskey Thief is a great ending point for your day, because at the end, you go to the farm, you go through the tasting, you sit out on the patio, the fire pits.
It's a barrel pick all day, every
Day.
day.
And the food-
Monday through Monday.
And the food truck
Yeah,
that
it's
is,
off.
that
Oh my
does it
gosh.
is crazy. So you go to the food truck, which is basically
One of the best food trucks I've ever
Yeah.
eaten at. I'm telling
and then you just sit out on the patio, have a
you.
cigar,
Have a cigar.
try your bourbon. And everybody I've told to do this at the end of the day comes back and they're always like, absolutely amazing.
The
So
coolest thing.
so many good places to go. We're just lucky to be involved in it.
And
honestly.
usually during the warmer and fall months, they have some live
Slushy.
music out there. They've got cornhole set up out there. And then, like you said, the fire pits, when it starts getting cooler, they got the fire pits out there and all that you can sit around and enjoy a pour and just relax with your friends and family.
Yep.
You know, it also, too, we got to mention
Hannah.
one of our friends and great ambassadors there, Hannah Malia.
Yep.
I mean,
Great
person,
she's the head of the single barrel program. now.
Yeah.
And
I
we've been
mean-
talking to Hannah and doing, barrel thievings and things with Hannah for years.
Yeah.
And it's just great to see her evolve into what she's
Well,
about.
as a group, we do barrel picks, and we try and keep it within our measly amount of realm of money. I think with the 2 this time, I went a little bit off, but I think in the end it's going to be good. So I was thinking about our next barrel pick, which I'm going to try and do in June or next whatever. But we had somebody lined up, but that's not happening anymore. We won't be doing that barrel pick. And so we got to come up with the barrel pick. And, Whiskey Thief being our sponsor and everything, and you hear stuff, and we have so many fans of that. It might be where we go with our barrel pick, because the people, I mean, it's Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah's going to be running the barrel pick, but I'm sure Derek and Kelly will jump in.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly
Mhm.
might not if we're not picking a gin barrel.
Kelly will try to trick us.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
yes.
love Kelly.
Yes, we love Kelly. Cheers to Kelly.
Yes.
And anyways, so,
All right.
there we are for our sponsors for the, that's our year in review for our sponsorship. We're going to get the main podcast going. And what'll happen is, as if most people who are on board, there's going to be about a 45-second delay. Then we'll go into. Can you hit the speaker?
Yes, I will.
We got to hear that. We got to hear the right. Okay, perfect. It's set
There
up.
we
All
go.
right, so we are set to go. So I'm going to start the recording of the audio. We've got whiskey. I think we've delayed far enough. By the time we get it, he'll be coming in. Walker, all you got to do is adjust it a little bit more towards that way. I've got, you can cut out everything up to me. So you got a little bit, if you look over here.
Yep,
You got
absolutely.
right here, and you can put it over there.
Yep,
Just like how that worked?
I did.
Okay.
Right now,
So-
I'm a disembodied pant leg, but that's all right.
So we're having a
Pretty
really,
good,
for whatever
hand
reason,
motion.
we're having a great,
it'll be-
everybody out on
I'll make
YouTube,
those.
Tater Dom is here. You should check your YouTube because we are having a great day on YouTube. Encourage everybody
Yep.
to
Got
let
Terry-
us know
Terry
what
Dan
their
in here.
bourbons of the
Cheers,
years
Terry.
are. Yeah, Terry Dance on there, but on YouTube we're in the 20s. I mean, I'm excited about what's happening
Me
on
too.
YouTube.
This
We
is gonna
could
be
be,
a
we're
great
going
day.
back into this is a good one right here.
Yes.
Normally it had gone down a little bit and whatever, so I'm excited about that. But let's get this ball rolling.
It's the mellow corn.
All
That's
right.
what's doing it.
Exactly.
It's-
I mean,
it-
people see that.
The
I'd
mellow
be-
corn, they're like,
Oh
these
my
guys,
gosh,
these
they
guys
must
know.
be. Those guys must be
These guys,
sampling that today.
they know.
They know.
I'd like to play the Jeopardy music in the background for us. I'm gonna do it next time, not today. I'll do it later.
Woo!
Drinking bourbon, sipping on some scotch. We get a little wild, sure fun.
Keep it a little wild.
Oh, wait a minute, if I'm gonna do it.
That's a cock blocker.
That bottle is crazy.
Woo! Woo! Boy, here to have fun.
Fun.
Here to have fun. Yeah.
Fist bump. Fist bump. Fist bump. It's a lot less evasive.
All
right, all right, yes.
Studio, we got
Yeah.
CT. We got Super Nash. Tiny. And then
And-
one of these times, Walker's always here. He's kind of off camera a little bit.
Camera a little bit.
But just so you know, we got to come up with something. One of these days we'll have to come up with Walker's. Although Walker almost is has a self-made
He's Walker, Texas Ranger Walker.
yeah, okay. or we could call him Big Stick.
I don't want to call anybody Big Stick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
not Native American Indian. And B, no.
Welcome to now. Whiskey is going to be joining us.
And
He's
C,
en route.
no.
He's en route. Today's a Friday in the morning, and he planned it. But sometimes business calls, so he's been dealing with a business thing. Nash had to do so. We're all kind of doing that, and I'm sure someone's
Yep.
trying to buy a car from you right now, CT. Right? You got your business covered while you're gone. Right?
Yeah, I'm good
Yeah.
for today.
Yeah,
they-
okay.
They got it handled.
All right. So, anyways, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Glen Cairns. I got a t-shirt right under there. And also bourbon balls, which are going to be dipped tonight. I don't know how many are going to be left
Today.
afterwards. Yeah,
We're gonna
today
dip
and-
them
yeah,
into
today.
Yeah.
And then
8 tonight.
Facebook,
Oh.
Instagram, YouTube, and X. Remember to check us, follow us out there on all the major podcast formats, Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. But remember, wherever you listen to us or watch us, like, listen, comment, and subscribe.
Right.
Like, listen, comment, and subscribe. Leave good feedback. That's what we do.
There you go.
Yeah, this is right now. We are dealing with 5 to 11 in the morning, folks, and I'm just having my first pour. Yesterday was great. We had our Bookers of the Year podcast
Yes,
that went
we
last
did.
night.
Oh my gosh.
We picked batch number 4, which is Jimmy's batch, and that is into our Bourbon of the Year.
Me and him went through 5 different bourbons, half-ounce pours that they blinded us on, and it was just crazy how then we came down to 2 because me and him disagreed on 1 and 2. So we took those 2, and all 4 of us, Walker, Roxy, Tiny, and myself, Super Nash, blinded again, all 4 of us, and unanimously we came up and all picked Jimmy's batch.
Jimmy's batch number
2000
4.
Yep,
Yep.
2024-04 batch of Bookers.
So
it
that's
was
why
great.
this Bookers will be on the table today to
Yep.
narrow down to our final 4s,
Yes.
because it was the pick of that. So
Yes.
Yes, this will be in it's the qualifying end. We've got to get 3 more of these bourbons into this, and we are going the way it's going to work tonight at 2:00 or 2:30 will probably be the starting point.
Yeah.
What'll happen is we'll all me, you, whiskey, CT, we'll have 4 bourbons
We're
in
gonna
front of us.
we're gonna narrow all these
And
down
they'll
to
be
4.
blind. They'll be blind, and we're getting it down to 4 on this podcast. And we're just going to taste through and talk, and we're going to review. But we're going to taste them all, and we'll get them. We'll everybody will get a pick, or if somebody has the same pick, we can find one more. So whatever everybody's thinking, then when we do this blind, we're just going to number them 1 to 4 or our orders of what you think is the best, 1 to 4. And if that ends up whatever the number each one gets, if it gets a 4, the lowest number is the Bourbon of the Year. The highest, and then in whatever order. But I guess if there's a tie, then we'll do the same thing again. A tie between 2. We'll blind those 2 with Walker and Roxy jumping in. Roxy should be jumping in from time to time throughout the day. She's upstairs. Tonight is the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Christmas party at the Gervasi Vineyards at their still house. So it's called the Still House at Gervasi, but it's at 7 p.m. If you're watching right now and you're in the Canton area, you're able to come on and watch. So come and check us out. This party we have giveaways. We have we've got we've not only giveaways, but we have great pours. There's some finger food there and everything. There's a cigar bar out there. So pretty much this is our group to get together to like really with no stress. Just hang out with each other,
enjoy each other, and just enjoy the time and
because normally
the year that we've had together.
We hang out together, but we're hanging out at festivals where we're all working.
Yeah.
So we do get a good amount of time together, but there's a lot of time we're at the festival. CT's booking people, Nash is booking people. We're taking videos.
Interviewing people.
Like, there's no
sampling. I know a lot of people don't think that that's work, but that's work.
It is. Yeah.
But this is our way to get together with all the people who love the Scotchy Bourbon Boys who come up. Walker's here. He's up. Last year wasn't able to make it. He basically did what Roxy, Walker, and whiskey all were sick.
Yeah.
Everybody was sick, and so it was still a success, I think. Hopefully, I'm hoping to see Spanky and everybody at the Christmas party or our holiday party. It can't be a Christmas party because Christmas is come and gone, but it's our holiday party, and so we're ready. So we're gonna just kind of review.
Why not?
It's old fashioned Christmas.
because it's an old fashioned Christmas to me.
I got a Christmas too, I guess.
I saw somebody else.
We're
a
just making
random
what are we
person, he had
doing?
a
Making Christmas not end?
sweatshirt on today.
Hey,
I'm
it's still
just all I
Christmas.
can
Yeah,
say
it's
is
still Christmas.
20 since this quarter of
It's the
2024.
holiday season.
This quarter of 2024. It was a win for me. All I've been doing is winning in this quarter. It's just been crazy how cool, this October, November, even starting in September when we met for Scott, and then we were in. I mean, for God's sakes, it was first the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, then it was Bourbon on the Banks. I mean, we were all getting together. I mean, I've probably been down to Kentucky 4 times this quarter. And then we're going down tomorrow. Nash and Roxy. I'm convincing Roxy to go. Walker's coming. Stacy is coming up with Sarah Evans. Stacy from the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. She's coming up for the party. They're staying on grounds. So we could even have an after party, a room after party there. It could just get wild. So, I know we all got to be out.
Do they know that?
I was gonna say it depends on what bottles Stacy's bringing.
Yeah.
Stacy. Well, Stacy said, "What would you like me to bring?"
Jim Beam 20.
No. You know what I asked.
Well,
I
she
said
did
you
that,
don't
she'd
have
bring
to, but
Randy's
if
glass.
you want to, I
To
said
make it
if you
official.
want to, you can bring the William LaRue Weller.
Oh,
So we'll
I'll
see.
take that Jim Beam 20 over the
No.
William LaRue Weller.
I think I would too.
That
know.
Beam
Now that
20
you
was
mentioned it,
so
I-
good.
That's a hard
He
one.
mentioned the William LaRue Weller.
I've
I
had
didn't even think about that Jim Beam 20 until you just did.
I'm
that,
just
that was just.
I'm not
phenomenal.
asking her to bring out the $1 billion bottle. I'm asking her to bring out the $1 million bottle.
Well,
I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy.
It's okay. I think the one behind Nash's head is one she hasn't had, so we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
the Pendennis.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we ready to start tasting through some of these? We got a lot to get through.
Shush. We don't want that. That's not. Don't cause. No.
You
It's
friction
not-
starter, you.
Yeah.
He got it. He got it. Oh, and then you're gonna override his getting it.
All right. Well, we're ready to start through
This
these.
is a special freaking club that we're talking about, buddy. Anyways, yeah, we are ready.
So,
we
yeah,
are ready.
yeah.
So let's do proof. Let's go lowest to highest proof.
Yeah.
So that we
let's
don't
not
go-
even do that.
Yeah,
gonna
that's too hard.
Let's just start.
I mean,
We'll work our
yeah.
way around.
Let's just work our way around because we're just gonna have to taste them all anyway.
So we'll start, and I'll let you talk about it, Jeff.
He's
because
scared of a palate shot.
So we'll start with Larceny, which used to be Lawrenceburg Bourbon Company,
and
renamed right during Bourbon Festival.
and Greg Keeley's
Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Yep.
Greg Keeley's a good friend of the podcast.
Yes, he is.
We've been there from the beginning. Went there. We've done some. We got. I think Whiskey does his insurance.
Yep. So,
But Greg's a great guy.
here you go. Let me.
And one of the nice things
Do you
about
wanna
it,
rinse it?
yeah, I water
Okay,
rinsed it.
Okay.
There you go.
I drank the water.
All right,
Drink
go
the
ahead.
water.
Keep talking.
So
One of the
Greg
things about
Keeley's, are you no? Are these poured out pours?
Yeah.
Yes.
Half ounces.
Yeah.
I am the responsible one.
No, you should be going quarter ounces if you're going to try and keep me sober for the day.
Well, we'll keep it. This is a lower proof. This is 100 proof.
A lower
Thank you,
proof.
sir.
It's a
He
bottled
says-
in bond. The thing that I got on this immediately, and I think at Kentucky Bourbon Festival, I missed it, but then at Bourbon on the Banks, everybody was going around talking about this bottle because it had such flavor and it had some of that older characteristic to it. And you might set it up there
Well,
so it's
Well, when we were there,
Look at the YouTube real quick.
when we were there that week before you had to go home, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That we really got to experience. We had stopped off at Greg's and they were telling us at the time it was not Larkin, it was Lawrenceburg. And so Greg was telling us that we knew there was going to be a logo change. We didn't know anything about that, but we were able to taste this at the bar before they released it, but then let us know that they were going to do it. And the first podcast review of this bottled in bond,
just for a pour.
this bottle in bond right here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This one was the one you let us taste, and we knew it was something special. So it was kind of cool. And
Yeah, it's this one I thought just had
and then he
a lot
did
of
the
flavor.
the
for
release of the
perfect, thank
name
you.
and the release of the bottle was at Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Oh, if we want to pour out,
Yeah.
we're gonna make it an infinity.
Well, no, that'd be a. I'm not drinking from
four-person
that one.
infinity. No.
Mhm.
Oh, because we all drank out. And then
Right, I'm
we're
just
dumping
using it in case
And
you don't want to
because
finish.
It might be dirty.
Yeah, it is for sure. It is. I pulled it from over there.
Yeah, I'm just using it to remove.
No
like,
dirty,
we did
but
that
it might
last
have a little
night
dust in it, but
With
not.
the Bookers.
been
I
used.
saw.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, what you did? You saw that when we put them all together and tasted them.
And
It turned
it turned out we both had the same amount.
I saw
when
you
we
were
did-
like, yeah, they're
Oh my
literally
God.
the same.
Yeah, but it was so funky.
yeah.
I mean, it was like
Oh, wow.
so you know how sometimes with your palate,
it did
things
not blend,
progress.
It did not blend well
You know,
together.
so Chris, they progress. The sweetness on the front, the stuff on your tongue, then into the back of your throat, then the finish. You know, the heat. Now it had a ton of heat because I mean there was really hot on
Took
the
away
hook.
all the brown sugar and the caramels.
Yeah, but I
So
was
all the.
But
nice
I was
sweet notes
I was
went
getting
all
on
the
my
nice sweetness
my
were
mid
gone.
palate was going nuts like a cartoon. It was like wood, cherry, it was like
Yeah.
no consistency. It was just like
Yeah.
a giant F fest.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool, but then you get like all red pepper. It's like, okay, I
Yeah,
just
it's-
ate like 3, pieces of red pepper.
So we're not going to
grains
get a glass
ground
of
red
each
pepper.
one.
Yeah, we're gonna get some of each.
Well, I'm talking about.
In between water.
I mean, like, so I won't be able to have
You
this
won't go
here
back
to
no.
compare it.
No,
No.
I won't go back.
we're
So-
gonna go strictly off of what we think and go down.
You have to come up with one. And in my opinion, while we're doing this,
You can come up with
That's-
that.
one's gonna pop out of everybody.
Okay.
You know what I
like,
mean?
I mean, this
Yeah.
is a great drinker.
Yeah.
Will it make it past some of these other? Because there's some hitters in here.
Yeah, there's some hard
That-
hitters.
But I will
So
say,
I really need to concentrate
On what you like.
yeah,
and what,
Yeah, and we
what
should
it's
do
doing
half-
and what it's.
We should do
I'm gonna cut it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna cut it.
That's
Yeah.
that's like a pour for me on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Listen, you're a weak stick. I know.
Yeah.
Listen, it's okay. I'll get you a nipple next time. You can
Yeah.
put a little baby nipple on the top of it. You can.
Yeah.
Hey.
That does get better in the glass.
This
I'll
is a
be-
bottle.
You
so
keep
this
pouring like
bottle-
this, I'm driving you to Gervais.
Is this
I'll
bottle?
be your crutch.
I think this bottle is what, 59.
Yeah, a very reasonable.
This is a bottle,
Yeah.
though. And no kidding.
My
For
crutch.
anybody that enjoys bourbon, this is a bottle you want to get. This is a very good bottle.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I put it up on this table is because I think for the price point, this bottle can stand up to some really good bourbons.
Yep.
Is it as good as maybe what this old Fitz is? No. But this went through 20 some years of development.
Yeah.
But that is a great bottle.
And I just noticed that's an 8-year-old bourbon.
Yeah, and he started coming out with some 8-year single barrels
Yeah.
that they're distilling. So, again, real quick, we'll recap this and then we'll move. To
Well,
the
this
next
is
one.
the only thing he's ever proofed
Yeah.
down.
Larrikin is just down the street from Wild Turkey. So if you go to Lawrenceburg and you're going to Wild Turkey, they are on
Or-
the left.
Or
Roses.
it's Lawrenceburg is what? 15 minutes from Frankfurt.
Correct. Yeah.
So-
whole thing.
I mean, our skip was, I think it was 27 minutes from Whiskey Thief to Larkin.
you want to
Yeah.
pull that
If
one
I'm
down?
so you could do your fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we're
This
moving
one
to the
down.
next one here, folks. So
Oh God.
if you're done, that's what the Infinity Cup is for.
Yeah.
Are you rinsed and
Nash-
ready for your next
Nash
one there,
doesn't-
Walker?
Nash does not
There you
do
go.
in an infinity cup.
Well, I forgot how the rules work.
Yeah, I remember. I remember
Who the
you're
hell
one
made
of
the rules. 'Cause I feel like they changed.
I
daily.
seriously-
I know.
I think
I know.
they do.
What do you think we should put this year's master blend in? That's
don't
pretty
think so.
good stuff.
What master blend?
I don't
I think
think
we got
Master
enough.
Blend.
Give me your cup, Jeff.
Mm,
All right, so Nash, talk about what we're drinking here.
Oh,
my bottle,
yeah. This
signed
is
by Dan
Michter's
McKee and
10-year
Andrea Wilson.
bourbon. We were fortunate enough. We know Dan McKee and Andrea Wilson of Michter's Distillery. And this bottle just happens to be signed by both of them that Jeff picked up this year at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. And this was one of my picks for Bourbon of the Year. And if I'm not mistaken, it's on a couple, 2 or 3 other people's list this year.
Last year it was on our top.
Last year's was the Michter's 10 was Bourbon of the Year.
Yeah. Yep.
For the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
We last year at this point when we did the podcast, we had been to Michter's, had drank this bottle with Dan.
Yes.
And then it stuck all the way through the year. It was like that bottle was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
And we came back to it. And then they came out with Bombergers. And Bombergers was a freaking killer bottle.
Absolutely.
And we still went back to that 10 and we're like, as good as Bombergers was,
now that this has been
blinded
sitting,
it, and then it came out of the blind as the winner.
I'm gonna say now that this has been sitting, it has aged beautifully. It was good to open up, but I did not think it was as good as it was in 2023.
That funk in there. That old school funk.
Oh yeah.
That damp bottle we just drank.
That
damp flavors in there. That's like that butterscotch. It's some kind of funky butterscotch flavor that's just
This almost is like what that wished it had become
at a higher proof.
Wow.
Yeah, at a higher proof.
Yeah. If that had been a higher proof, it would have got something like this. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. That
Dan
with that flavor is just.
So in these bottles,
Thomas Andrews said he's drinking hot green tea because he's just waking up. Well,
Thomas,
we're drinking.
Brother, pour some bourbon in that tea and let's get on with it.
Yeah, because we're just waking up here too.
Yeah, it's 11:11.
Now we've all had breakfast to be sure, but if you haven't had breakfast, get something to eat, brother, because you're gonna want something else on your stomach.
We started out right. Let's give a little shout out to the donut makers at Der Dutchman, because we got some Der Dutchman donuts early.
Were
this
you
morning.
tempted to get a pie too while you were there?
I literally had a chocolate cream pie in my hand.
The pies there are amazing.
So Der Dutchman for the win to start. I feel like that's a great way to get it going. And then of course Roxy made us some eggs, and then we had
we've got
we had a birthday cookie.
We got that up there for lunch.
So we've carb loaded before this, so
don't do this on an empty stomach, folks.
Me and Walker had breakfast prepared for us.
We did. So I won't share where we're staying, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
We had an apple cinnamon oatmeal that was like halfway between
Baked.
baked.
Yeah,
it was like
a pie.
Yeah, it was like a pie or a cake.
All right,
boys, it's very moist.
I didn't
show this to
dump that
to YouTube real quick.
I'm not dumping that.
So we got that Michter's.
Guys, we
keeping that on the table.
Just put them all down for now,
okay.
and then
they're all going down, and then we'll.
Perfect. All right, who's ready for round number 3? Round number 3, we're going with Larceny, which if everybody's seen, beautiful new label. I love the fact that they updated the label on the new bottle. Larceny also this year, new to them, is they started doing single barrels, which if you've been fortunate enough to find a Larceny single barrel out there, they're delicious.
Yeah.
But this is C924, the fourth release, or the third release of this year.
There's only 3 anyway.
Correct.
Yeah, there's always A, B, and C, just like there's
the
a
third release for this year.
125.1 proof. Go ahead.
Speaking of the year in review, last year we started off the year. I mean, the year was so many different places that we went, but we started off the year with a barrel pick at the Spirit of French Lick, where we picked 2 of our barrels. Anybody that's watching and interested, contact me. Just like last night, I know that I have to check, but someone ordered a t-shirt. So that was kind of cool. But we've got the t-shirt, whatever. You can contact me, barrel picks, whatever. Just ask me. I can tell you the details. But that barrel pick was a very unique barrel pick. It was me. It was Walker was along. Jamie got to come along. So people who were normally the fans of the podcast that is our fans help pick
Jason
those
got to
2
go with
barrels.
you
Yep,
guys.
Jason. And we picked limited edition Lillian Sinclair. That is fantastic. 3-year-old bourbon. It's exactly what Alan wants and makes for a frontier bourbon. And then we also picked the William Dalton, which was a 6-year, which I felt was a strong addition to our barrel picking
That
thing.
he did something special with that William Dalton, didn't he?
No, he did something special with the Lillian.
The Lillian was where we dropped in the French
okay,
oak
okay,
staves. Yes,
okay.
that is the most unique bourbon to date for me. A lot of people, if you're big Kentucky bourbon, bourbon fans, it's not probably your cup of tea. But if you're a fan of whiskey and bourbon, a 4-grain bourbon, that I'm telling you, it's something completely different and it's unique. So that's how we started
So
out.
let's talk about this Larceny.
One second, because I got a question. Andrew Lucas just jumping in.
Okay.
He wanted to know what batch the M10 was. Is there a batch number on it?
That's a good question. Hold on one second. I'm going to block the camera for a half second.
Could you read that batch number and let Andrew know?
So we got a
So
barrel number.
So it's the barrel number, I think, is the
Yeah.
batch 231935
E19.
E1935.
All right.
So and he is right, because they will come out with 2 batches, I think, 2
Yeah.
to 3 batches depending on what they have available.
Yeah.
So Larceny, which I've always been a fan. I know some people are like hit and miss because Elijah Craig and Larceny are very similar in the fact they come from the same distillery. And most of the years, Elijah Craig beats Larceny for the most part in every season, A, B, and C. This is a good batch. For me, it's got when I put this initial drink, I was like, man, it's got a real nice butter note going in, but then it got really hot across the palate for me.
And they do. And sometimes
It's
if you have the
cinnamony.
benefit.
Yeah,
It is.
the hotness came,
It's cinnamon toast.
but first coming in, it was like, wow. It was,
I would be almost like to say,
no, don't say it.
yeah,
It is
tastes
not.
Like, it tastes like it.
No,
But-
it does not.
But give
Yeah, it
yourself a
does.
little bit more swirl because
Did they cheat?
No, this
They're
is
just
not.
Amburana finished
No, there.
Larceny?
Listen. There is no Amburana in this
No,
because
no,
I am
there's
the
no
most
Amburana.
Amburana freaking sensitive human being.
you
on
are,
earth.
except for when's the last time you had Amburana?
This is
Like
a
2
cinnamon
years ago,
frosted
No,
because you
bun.
stay away from it.
No, I
it's
get
delicious.
people.
Yeah.
I get people try to
Depending
trick
on your
me all
day
the
and your
time.
palate,
It
tastes
doesn't
like
work. That stuff
hot-
is horrible.
Well, this reminds me
snickerdoodle.
of
Yeah.
what you want to do with Amburana, but it's not. I understand
better
it's
than
not. It's got the
No.
cinnamony.
better.
It's got.
Sorry. It's better.
It is.
That's your own personal
That's fair.
opinion.
That's fair. It is.
But the viscosity, what I do like about this and what I was meaning by it is when it the first drink and second drink, the viscosity is great. It's got a really nice velvety taste to it. It's hot,
yeah, for sure.
but it's hot on the front of your tongue. It's hot on the hug.
The whole
it's
mouth.
It's hot on everything.
Yeah. It's
But
great.
that's not a
Nice
bad
body
thing.
to it. Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's not a bad thing.
The first time Lou Bright, like someone's there. Okay. Anyways, never mind.
Roxy.
The first time Lou Bryson, when I first was doing it, was critiquing
that.
barrel proof.
I
It
do
just
too.
came out, and he was like, "That is hot."
It's
He
different.
wasn't criticizing it. He said that's got heat.
Mhm.
But what's so crazy about this is a wheated bourbon.
Mhm.
Wheated bourbons, this
Aren't
goes
typically like that.
but
Yes.
Larceny goes
Yes.
against all the wheat. They like on purpose are like putting this out to show that just because it's a wheat mash bill bourbon,
Yeah, doesn't have to be.
it's not. It doesn't have to be less hard. You can have spice, but
Right.
it's a cinnamon spice.
It is. And like what's crazy about this for me, that by far over the 3 bottles we've drank has the best mouthfeel because the Michter's 10 did not have that mouthfeel. The Michter's
No.
10 had great flavor.
But
Flavor is
Michter's
different.
10 is so phenomenal because it does have the proof to go with it, but
It's just different.
it's easy.
Yeah.
There's, there's nothing easy about this.
So we're
You have to taste this and your eyes have to work through it.
let me have the cellar. That's going to be next.
Cellar Age 2024.
So what's interesting about that? You said it's got the proof. Compared to that, it is a much lower proof. So the 10
Yeah, Michter's 10 is not. No.
This is
Like
a 94.4
90, I
proof.
would say 95.
That's 125.1.
Yeah.
So that heat obviously is coming
It's coming
from it.
some-
But yeah, but I love
It's
the
wonderful.
mouthfeel. I think it's great. We got to move on to the next one because we'll be here forever.
Well, we're going to be
So,
here forever.
Now we're going to open this shitty bottle. No, I'm just kidding. So everybody talks about it.
Somebody really
Maker's cellar
reached
aged.
down in the bottom of the box
Yeah.
for this one.
Somebody
didn't
had to go like,
Yeah.
I don't want to drink this shit, so let's just bring it.
they? Yeah.
2024 cellar aged, which if you
now, once again, it's a weeded bourbon. Maker's Mark is weeded.
Yep.
It's cellar aged is
Let me
the
go ahead.
answer to everybody saying we want a further aged Maker's Mark, because Maker's Mark wouldn't age their stuff more than 7 years. I mean, and that was just like where they were stuck. Fred Minnick and everybody was saying, why don't you age it? 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 So this was their answer. And
the
on
answer
March
came.
7th,
Yeah.
we are going to be doing a
Yeah.
podcast at Maker's Mark with
Mr.
Rob
Samuels.
Samuels talking about cellar aged Maker's Mark and what they're doing and where they're going further, because they've started to go further than cellar aged.
Yeah. So let me
Wow.
put a little bit more history, because you added a lot of history in there, Tommy. When they started to come around to the
Is that
idea
the
that
other
it might
half
be
of Jeff's?
possible for them to stay on profile and stay on character was when they started the Makers 46 program. Once they started the Makers 46 program, they had a cellar that they could keep at a constant temperature level, and they thought, well, okay, let's try it. Let's put a couple of barrels
God, that
back,
nose is
and let's try what
freaking
everybody's been
delicious.
asking
Oh my
for.
God.
But you got to
I
understand,
just want to crawl in
Maker's
that
Mark
glass.
always had barrels back.
Yeah.
So they always were doing it. They just wouldn't release it to the public. So people like Fred Minnick got to taste a 14-year-old Maker's
right.
Mark.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
one of the
difference
best
between
noses
this and
on-
Maker's
on a
46 is it's just Maker's further, where Maker's 46, when they were doing the cellar aging, is dropping all the staves in. So you're double oaking it.
So the other difference I would highlight with this is they're putting more back now, because they know this works. They're putting more
It's
back
like that
now.
brown
Last year it was
sugar that is
30,000
almost like a
bottles
burnt
total
brown sugar.
throughout
And
the world.
vanilla.
Thankfully, they
Like
pulled back
yeah.
some of the ones that didn't sell in
it's
other
like
parts of the world.
creme
We got a
brulee.
second chance at it.
You know?
This year it's 40,000 bottles.
Right.
Next year it could be 50.
Smell
Next year it could be about the same.
fresh.
Well, they're
Creme
gonna.
brulee, as
I
soon
don't
as
think
it
they'll go
comes out
too
in that
far
I don't
ahead,
think so either.
because once
Crispy
again,
burnt
the reason
sugar
why we like
on the
this
top of
partially
it.
is because we can't
You get
have it.
enough of vanilla,
You don't want it.
burnt
Makers
brown sugar
is
all together.
proving you want to do something where people can't have it. This is their answer to Buffalo Trace too.
Well,
one of
Makers is doing great stuff. And I will say this, if you have not
you all-
been
up
to
until-
Makers and been on the tour, you need to, because part of the tour you go through the cellar, and it's such a cool experience to
Yeah.
go. You're out, if you go during the summer and you're outside and it's 85 degrees, and they take you into the cellar and it's 50 some degrees. I think it's 58 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Between
And
about
it-
52 and 48.
It's so cool to go
It's
in
the-
there and see
It's-
that and
but
experience it.
It's
Yeah.
it's the epitome of not a cellar. I mean, when you think of a cellar,
It's not a cellar.
Gervasi
in the
actually
side of a hill.
Gervasi actually has a
But it's
cellar.
cool.
Okay, it's basically, when you walk in, it's no different than any warehouse, rick house that you walk in that with palletized, the little whatever. It's basically a cement floor, and you walk in there, and yes,
crisp
we understand it's
Washington
built into
apple.
the side of the hill where there's limestone, but it feels like a finished. I mean, the artwork in there on the leading up
The
in the
blown
ceiling.
glass.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it does not. It feels more like a aging cellar of a winery that
That's-
spent $1
that's what I was
billion
gonna say, is that
on it.
it is a cellar in the sense that if
Yeah,
you're not
it's the
expecting the same thing that you expect everywhere
Correct.
else.
But a lot of times you go in a
California
cellar
food.
and there's a musty smell or whatever.
Right.
There's no musty smell.
Let's talk
It's all
about this. Let's
controlled.
talk about this glass.
One second. Want to give a quick shout out to my brother Marcus Nash watching.
Hey, Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus?
All
All right, and also Robert Brown.
Yep. You're
Uh,
not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's hard to get in Ohio.
It's hard to get in Pennsylvania, but that's one reason. Just want to mention to you,
Yeah.
the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard to get there.
So
Yeah.
the funny
we
thing about
we
that
were
is-
able to get that.
yeah, you
there.
guys got it. I had to leave, but people during the Kentucky Bourbon Festival knew that it was possibly coming out. So they were in line at 2:00 in the morning down at the actual distillery trying to get a bottle. But if you had tickets, VIP tickets to the festival, you were probably getting a bottle.
You were probably getting a bottle.
Everybody
wanted it.
no, see what they did there with the cellar age is they had enough for everybody, but they kept cutting the line off after 1 hour.
And you know the reason
What
they
are we
did that?
talking about?
They cut the line off after an hour because
Well, Marcus, I'm pretty sure I know the other 10. There was probably 11 ghosts that visited him last night.
Yeah.
And they all bit him.
One was Old Forester.
one happened to be Bookers.
Yeah. Bookers, 5 of them were Bookers.
5 of them were Bookers ghosts.
You were visited by 5 ghosts.
One of them came from Bart
5
Distillery.
spirits.
So guys, the nose on this for me is amazing. It's funny because as it's set in the glass, I'm picking up more red apple than I did at first.
Yeah.
But there's a
First
nice
it
red apple.
It was like
But
brown
the- I'm
sugar
still-
and burnt
but-
brown sugar.
I
And
probably
vanilla.
didn't rinse my glass. Larceny then with those. I'm
Oh,
still
you
picking up
dummy.
this. I
Rinse your
did
glass.
rinse it out, but I didn't probably rinse it out enough. So I'm picking
there
up
is
the
no enough.
cinnamon.
There's no enough.
There's no
Once that color's
whining
been in your
during
glass.
bourbon tasting.
Well, I'm going to agree with Tiny on this point. After you put that in your glass, there's not enough rinsing that you can do. But we're going to do the best we can. So
So
I'm with you on this one.
still get that red apple. You know what's weird is the red apple doesn't come in at the front. It comes at the end.
Yeah, it's like a tart.
Mhm.
There's a tartness to it.
It literally is like they're at the end. But wow,
No,
what a mid!
It's
What a
sweet- it's
mid!
a sweet red apple. I'm not.
I will tell
This
you
mid
though,
palate is
the
different.
main
Yeah.
difference between this year and last year is there's a little bit of ethanol
Oh, yeah.
that you taste. That a
Last
little bit
year
of
was
heat
covered up with sweetness.
with caramel. Last year was just
Yeah.
and
I think that might have been the sweet
That
spot
little bit of
last year.
ethanol.
I
up
don't.
front,
I
yeah.
haven't had a reference of it for a while, but I think Walker
this
may
one
mention
dries
that I
out
might.
the middle of my tongue like
bit.
a wine almost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's pretty.
It'll punch you a little bit.
It's drying out the front and just
Oh,
a little bit
yeah.
of the middle.
Yeah.
So it's
Almost like Sort of how it gives it like that
119.3.
powdery.
It's 119.3.
But then on the sides and the back, that sweetness comes
But I
in.
mean, honestly, when you taste the
Mm.
complexity of this compared to the Larceny that we just did, which was right in your face, with a
Different.
with a
Totally
specific flavor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That cinnamon, like toast, like whatever. This is
Mm.
like so many things happening.
So what I've done,
wow.
and you'll appreciate this from last
no.
night, is I actually took 23 and 24 and blended them together, and it is a caramel apple.
Oh my gosh. I
Because
bet so.
this is so apple forward, and that
You're-
caramel note that was in 23
You-
and blended together.
you bastard.
But it is. It's like you get like it worked. It
How
worked
could
together.
you do such a thing?
You're only ticks.
And you didn't bring
Thomas says,
caramel
"I love
apples
my
for everybody?"
A124. Thomas, I love the A124 as well. You're only pissed because you drank through yours in less than a week.
Yeah,
What?
of 23.
Of 23, you're,
Yeah,
you're
no,
only
wait a
pissed
minute,
'cause
wait a minute. In all his defense, it wasn't him that drank it.
Oh no.
Oh, was it not?
It was Roxy.
No,
who drank
no,
it.
That is
she was
false.
mad.
That is completely false
Oh.
because she had her own. She had her own bottle that she chose not to drink off of for a while, and it was driving
You
my
didn't-
friend
You
crazy.
didn't share with your wife.
No, she didn't.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
He was not required
Okay,
to.
this is in my defense of this year.
There's
He
no
also
defense
kept
in
it
that.
from
no,
she
no,
kept
the-
it
There's
from
no
him for a
defense
while.
in there.
Wow, I would have.
The bottle
Damn.
was left to me. It was like
Yes.
a little more than a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
And he
Mhm.
Walker kindly sent me home with it.
go get him a shovel. So you
And
can
he
dig in the hole.
said he had another bottle that he
I
had to
did.
do some stuff with, and that eventually he would get me some of that too of a 2023.
Mhm.
But he said he wanted, because this was the first bottle
Yeah.
from the first batch that he waited in line for, he wanted the bottle.
Yeah.
So
I didn't
I-
need it in a week.
I was gonna see, I was seeing him again in 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks, so I made sure that I tasted through and could give him the bottle. And
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
that was the
So,
best 2 weeks of my life when it comes.
Remove the celery.
Here, cellar aged, and we're gonna move on because we got to.
Yes,
This
we
will be a
gotta keep
freaking
moving.
5-hour long podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, We're
get some
moving
more
on
water.
to Bookers. This was the Bookers of the year. If you
Yeah,
watched the
Yes.
podcast yesterday, Bookers batch 4, which was the Jimmy batch, which I love the fact that and Nash, you read the story online yesterday during the podcast. This is what I love about the bourbon world. They're in competition, but they're not in competition.
Yeah.
Well, they literally named the batch after Jimmy Russell from Wild Turkey because he knows what an impact Jimmy had on his grandfather.
Yep.
And on his and his dad.
And
if it was
this ain't the Rick House. What are you doing?
It's just carpet.
There's presents down there.
So
it's just I'm drinking as much as I can.
I love the
I'm just
fact
trying
that
to
we can
dry.
be in an
There's nothing
industry
coming out.
that works together instead of against each other.
Watch it. You about cracked them.
Oh, these children. All right.
Okay.
So back
sorry,
to the Jimmy's batch.
teacher.
This was a tribute to Jimmy Russell and what he meant to Fred and Freddie, I'm sure.
Yes.
And that the fact that that Jimmy had a lot of impact on Booker and what he did, and Booker towards Jimmy, obviously. And this was the winner of all 5 batches, which listen,
included the reserve.
Watching the podcast, because I didn't get to be on it. I watched it on the way up here this morning.
Okay.
I'm like thinking there's no way the reserve doesn't win because I've drank them and I'm like, the reserve is freaking good.
Yeah.
But that is the difference what a blind will do when you take the preconceived, like, this was more expensive, this was more special, and it's got to be better.
Yeah.
This was not any more than any other Bookers. It's 89 in Kentucky. It's 99 in Ohio. This was no more special than any of them, but the reserve didn't even place in the top 2.
Well, it did in mine. I had reserve.
But overall, it would have been.
I was 2.
It was a 3.
Right. And overall, it was a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was 3 on yours.
So we're going to go.
2
Let's roll.
2 on yours?
Yeah, we were same on reserve at it, but
yeah, that's right.
So I would
but
disagree.
different on 1 and 2.
And the reason I would disagree in part is that the reserves has solid flavor across the board. If you're going to look at that and you're going to have that, if you've never had Bookers, it's going to be solid. If you've had Bookers, it's going to be solid. Jeff. What 4 does that the other didn't do, 4 kind of was a standout. It had a little bit more heat that just kind of passed away.
That was rough what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When we were drinking them,
I know.
They all 5 consistently had a sweet flavor, okay? Right. And you don't know which one's which. So you're just judging on which. So what allowed
right at the end,
and there was 2 that had peanut. That one was strong peanut, and the other one was light peanut. It's good for Bookers.
Wait a minute. How are you saying that?
Peanut.
It's a peanut.
Yes.
It's not a nit.
Peanut.
It's not a peanut. It's a peanut.
It has a U and
it is an actual
I
nut.
Said peanut.
Holy
there we go.
Now you did.
Where is
whatever?
Where is whiskey? I need him.
Okay. It's a peanut.
We need whiskey.
Anyways, it's a peanut.
I
said it had a hard peanut on one and another lesser, but it still was there, which is a standard flavor of average Bookers that if you love Bookers, you're gonna like. Okay,
the peanut flavor.
But the other 3
watching for the first time, they might be thinking you've got a lisp and saying something else.
I think
peanut butter.
I think it came from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay.
Wisconsin?
So you come from Springfield, Illinois?
Silly goose.
Homer?
Dude. You know me. You know when we were down at Buffalo Trace, Jeff and I are standing there, and we're at Buffalo Trace, and we decided to do a tour because we're there early enough. And
because there was a tour.
There was a tour available. We're like, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
So we're standing there, and the woman's like, I like to get to know everybody and where you're from. And I'm like, oh, shit. So she goes around the room. Oh, we're from Kentucky. We're from wherever the heck they were from.
Wisconsin.
Blah, blah, blah. And gets around Jeffy's from, Northern Ohio. And she gets to me. I'm like, Springfield. She's, oh, we've heard of Springfield. And I'm like, oh, my God. I said, listen, my cats and dogs are good.
Well, they heard of it because of the Bookers. They named it. They knew Springfield.
Oh, Marcus said he thought you were saying penis.
That's what I told you. I knew it. Somebody would think you were talking with a lisp.
Okay.
All right. That one's been done.
The only one with the lisp here, buddy.
We don't need whiskey anymore. That one's already been done.
Marcus, that was a peanut.
Just
for
said peanut.
Clarification,
I said peanut.
All right, so we're on to the bookers. Let's try this and see what we got here. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm trying this again. I know.
I told you
Because
he's
you
going to
have to
treat
do
you
it
like
with
a brother.
everything
Yep.
I'm surprised this is holding up a lot better than I expected after the glass has been kind of abused.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It's the hottest. That hugged the
I'm
living crap out of
I
me.
think
I'm getting-
I think the
I think the
Larceny
Larceny
was
was
hotter.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about the heat going down.
The-
I'm like
the
the
gut
hug is
hug is
just
different.
oh my
Yeah. The
god.
gut
The hug.
It's
Yeah,
slowly
the
building.
Larceny was
mouthfeel.
hotter on your palate,
The Larceny
is-
was hot.
but this
Yes.
is warm going down.
Okay.
The hug
All
on
right.
this is like
Got you.
So
that's
for,
the first one that I noticed.
for
The
me.
hug.
This one is just. I mean, it's just compared to what we've drank. It's
Yeah.
definitely
To me,
bottom
would
of the
disagree.
to
line.
me, you have to
Yeah.
like big bourbon. This is like the biggest bourbon.
No, I think the Larceny had big bourbon flavor.
That-
So
in other words,
I think that's an order.
so you think
You and I talked about
that
this before.
that Amberana finished Larceny?
No,
it's yeah.
you're
Uh-huh.
absolutely
And I'm
wrong.
sitting here drinking bourbon, and I got.
not amber.
I don't want cinnamon toast.
So
Yes,
no,
I would agree
crunch.
with cinnamon toast.
I don't
Yeah.
even get cinnamon toast.
I
on
did.
Larceny.
That's the Larceny. If you gotta like cinnamon flavored bourbon.
I,
like
think, I
Larceny.
thought
Okay,
it was
so
cinnamon.
you have to-
I thought it was
cinnamon-
a
so-
cinnamon frosted bun.
Usually
Okay,
there's a
so
caramel
if
that
you-
doesn't
honey
include
bun,
the cinnamon.
So
It
if
just
you
No,
like a
it's
little
red
bit.
hot.
So-
There's no
okay,
honey
wait a minute.
bun
Not red
shit
hot.
in there.
Wait just a second.
Oh
my
my
God.
god!
Wait
But
just a second.
usually, like
I
if you're in
thought
A
my
batches,
I thought my brother was on here instead of my sister.
What do you got? What do you
Whoa.
got? What do you
Wow.
got? What did you do? Put a lawnmower over your taste buds?
Okay,
he
so
went
hold
there.
on. I have one rebuttal to what you said. Where in the world did a cinnamon red hot and French toast compare
Overlap.
with each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never.
Okay,
No.
I'll give you that's unique, but I don't want that.
okay.
So
If
you
don't
didn't
want
like the
that,
cinnamon red hot.
Okay,
It was not
so
French
it's
toast.
three
It was
against
cinnamon
one.
red hot.
I like both of them as far as a bourbon. It was a
Okay.
pleasant experience, but when I bourbon of the year, that's like picking a girl
So
instead of a guy
Well, I'm
in a
so
guy
picking
thing.
the girl.
So you've said your piece. And
I mean, instead of a guy,
so
a guy bourbon, you're picking a girl bourbon.
so
I'm
Mark-
picking the girl.
Hey Marcus, I think you might have been right now.
so just for the record, you've said your piece. 3 out of 4 of us disagree,
Yeah, but it
and it's
doesn't
staying
matter.
in. Am I right?
Dude, that
What's
that's
staying in,
right?
Matt lies.
Oh
and said
no, for
Larceny
me it
is
ain't
his
staying.
game.
Okay, so
you
wait a
guys
minute.
can use it as one of your
Wait a
picks.
minute.
I don't care.
Right now, we've gone through 5 bottles. This and the Larrikin to me would be the bottom tier of the 5.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
The Larcenys and the
Okay.
Larrikins bottom
Listen,
tier.
we got
This-
some killer bottles to
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah,
It
we
ain't
got
gonna
some
matter.
better bottles. We'll go through it again. Yeah.
All right, we're on.
I can't waste the blindness on this.
You
This is-
you move on. Put that down.
That
Let's
goes.
go.
Yeah.
That goes.
That
And
goes in.
Down
Jeff,
to-
I'm gonna
down
let
to
you
the floor.
talk about.
That's in. That's not one of our picks. It's automatically
it's
in.
going down.
Yeah,
It
it's-
won.
but, you're right. You're
It's
right.
out.
Oh, it's got to
it
be
doesn't have to
picked.
be.
Oh, let's talk
It's
about
got
this
to be
one.
picked between one of us 4 to keep
Yeah.
continuing.
to keep going.
Yeah.
There's gonna be too
So
many good
we'll
ones.
have that
Yeah.
discussion at the end because otherwise we won't.
Yeah.
we
Right
won't finish.
now, it's.
Who are
out of
you?
play.
What did you become the bourbon expert of the group? It is
What?
going to be in there.
It-
What are you
listen, look-
taking? You've taken
what's
irritating
on the
jabs from
table.
lessons from Rachel.
Listen,
Irritating.
what's on the table? There's no way that is going to be one of the
Hey, that's
top
bourbon.
4.
Oh,
There's no
rinse
way.
out my glass.
You know what? If I get.
I mean,
pulled
I
over
like the
driving,
Larceny, but it ain't going to be in the top 4.
You smell like bourbon.
Here.
I don't know about all that.
All right, so Jeff, tell us what we're
Nothing
drinking.
in it.
We are drinking Ed Blaze,
Old Stubborn.
Old Stubborn. It's pot still straight bourbon whiskey. It is a blend. Oh my god! I want to say 12. I got it. Of 10, 11, and 12-year-old
Here you go.
pot still straight bourbon.
What proof is it?
This proof is 123.8. His batches are always
Can I have
spectacular.
your glass
We
tiny?
need your.
Yeah,
Did you rinse it?
Okay.
on Nash's pants.
Now we're
Yeah.
doing Nash
Damn
got
it,
some
you didn't
water.
Rinse it.
CT's
All
got
right,
enough
so
water.
unyielding commitment to quality and character, uncompromising
You should do
dedication to
quarter
tradition and
pours for him
taste,
now.
I am doing quarter pours.
unrelenting pursuit of the perfect whiskey. This is a cool one because when they
Ooh.
released,
Ooh.
trying to break the glass.
No, I was trying to create a
So
bell sound.
when they released the
Ding,
first
ding,
version
round
is a
on.
wheat bourbon. Now this is a rye bourbon, and when they released the wheat, we had Ed on the podcast,
What's
and
up, Aaron?
he brought
Well,
samples
I didn't
from.
have it on the podcast because I left mine in Covington, Kentucky.
I didn't have it on the podcast
But,
because I didn't have it.
we had Ed on the podcast while we
Yeah.
tasted through the weeded one, and he talked about all the different things. He came from
Oh, I like the
Michigan,
nose on this.
came down, but he
Ooh.
brought 13
Mm.
samples from barrels and had me go through the blending
Wow.
process on the
Fascinating.
podcast. He had me blend. So
remember.
I got to blend and understand what a neutral barrel, one that's just kind of blah, what it means to blending. I got to know what a really spicy Tabasco sauce barrel and what it would do. So he taught me what it was like to blend for the first time in my life, where I went through that process of all the 13 barrels. And he made this blend out of those 13 barrels
Yeah.
that he brought down.
And this is
And it's 10, 11, and 12-year-old pot still whiskey from West Virginia.
And Ed, I'm gonna just say, if he's watching, I love the fact that you made it look like an old chapstick tube. It's freaking killer.
Yeah.
I think it's just cool. It looks
Yeah.
like the word chapstick wrote,
Well,
like an
yeah.
old classic but
Yeah.
it is. This bottle is killer. The topper is killer.
That is
Yeah.
one of the classic bar bottles
Yes.
that they put on
Yeah.
bars.
Yeah.
I
That
mean, it's
already
just
kills
perfect
two
for
of the
that.
first two that we had to me.
The nose is great.
Yeah, that's
I haven't tried it
That-
yet, but
like an antique old style bottle.
Mhm.
You know, from like the old West.
this is release number 2. He did one batch last year, and this is this year's.
And last year was a wheated
Mhm.
version, which was batch 1.
You responded to Thomas saying he likes his A124, right? On YouTube?
I did.
Yes.
I did. I think I responded in
Just talking
verbal,
to him.
yeah.
So definitely has good mid-heat, front to mid-heat palate. Like it rolls through your tongue. Doesn't hit my sides much, but through the tongue, it's got a lot of heat going on there for me.
It's like, that's so weird that bottle is at that level. But
I'm getting that peppery spice.
It's not
It's sweet.
so
There's
there's
a sweet flavor to it.
there's a real difference. This is pot still.
It's not a black
It's
pepper.
been
it's
in
like
the
a
water.
white pepper.
It's opened up in the thing. There's no doubt about it. See, this qualifies right in where the area that the Booker's qualifies in. It's even though it's not Kentucky whiskey, it's got that big flavor.
Mhm.
It's got a big flavor. It's not sweet. There's not a huge amount of sweetness.
No, it's definitely
There's
a
like
different-
even like almost an ale aspect of it on the back
Yeah.
palate that you like whatever, and it's delicious. I mean, and complex. There's no doubt about it.
I'm getting like on the back end like a maltiness.
a little bit.
You know.
A little bit.
Well, I think that dryness that it has gives it that malt.
Yeah.
It's dry. Like as your tongue's drying out, it's literally pulling like some of them, like I didn't feel that with the Larceny. Like the Larceny stayed on my tongue and it was hot,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't feel like I was drying out as it went down.
Yeah.
This is like pulling the moisture as it goes, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
it
just kind of
does.
different.
And Nash and Tiny, I'm going to refresh your water glasses. CT, you got enough water?
I'm good
I'm good. I got some right here.
for right now. Jeff, swirl yours around a little more.
I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, get it
Yours-
up to the top.
I smelled yours and I smelled mine, and I was like, man, you got to get that cleaned out. Come on. What the hell? It ain't an ice cream cone, dude.
There you go. I got it cleaned out.
So let's put that back in the tube and we'll move that, and we'll move on to we'll go to Infinite next.
First time I ever
Don't
heard
forget
that. Let's put
this.
it back in the tube.
And then that'll be this, and the Fitz will be our last two. Are we doing this?
Now that's up there.
There ain't enough of that to do.
You just make sure that there's a 4 little pours left when you're done. CT.
There ain't 4 little
What
pours
did you
there to
do?
begin with.
Take I can't pills this because normally you're
Listen,
just
there's not enough for Nash in there.
you're just
That's what I was saying.
You just own it normally, and now
Literally,
there's
there's not enough for
This
Nash.
is like
and that-
causing you distress.
Okay, anybody watching, you see this little
you gotta get
dinky ass
you
bottle
gotta
that he
get
gave
8
me
pours out of there.
of Discovery 12. I'm
We've
supposed to
gotta
make
get
that
8
work for
pours
4 people
just in
times
case
2.
it becomes bourbon of the year pick.
All right, we're ready for it. Okay, we're moving on. Jeff, talk about.
Yeah.
Move that down. Let me have that.
Let's talk about this.
Give that to Walker once he's what?
Yep.
Walker's bringing pitchers.
Oh yeah, look at
That way we don't
Look
have
at
to
this
walk back
guy.
upstairs.
Did Roxy
Look at
show you
that
how to
guy.
do it?
Hey,
No, but I think I can figure it out.
Did you use the machine?
Yes.
is this the
Roxy
infinite?
did that.
Thank
one.
you.
Is this the infinite?
This is
Finished.
Little Book
Yes.
Infinite.
That's the only little book that can qualify because it's got all bourbons in it.
Is it full of Canadian whiskey this time?
No.
Nash.
No.
Nash.
He
dare
knows
you?
why I'm
How
asking
dare
that.
you?
He knows why I'm asking that.
If we weren't drinking together, I would've called them
Elaborate.
out when they were saying-
Elaborate. Tell him why I asked you
Jeff.
that.
Because Traveler.
No, because you.
Oh,
yes,
oh,
tell
little
him
book.
why.
Okay, so our
Tell
first
them why.
ever
About
our
3
bourbon.
years
No,
ago.
no, it's the first ever bourbon of the year that we
Yeah.
did. That was our first, so it's 5 years
Yes.
ago. Little Book 3 was chapter 3 was out, and because it was COVID, we put it in because we liked it, and it wasn't even a bourbon. So while the whole world was going crazy,
It had
What
like
happened
it
was-
had a blend of like
Rye.
four
No,
Canadian
Canadian
whiskeys.
Oh,
whiskeys.
Canadian.
It
That's
had
right.
Canadian,
four
and it had
Canadian
Booker's in
whiskeys.
it, and it had
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
And I really had
Oh.
rye. I think
but
five.
that
Five is
year,
rye.
Little Book Chapter 3 won Bourbon of the Year because
You
we're
want
the
that?
Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and we can do whatever we want.
And
Yeah.
do whatever we want.
So
And
we'll just
so
in
that's-
retrospect call it
that's
whiskey
why-
of the year.
And so that's why I asked him that. Just joking with him.
That was our
Messing
first
with 'em.
ever whiskey of the year. Bourbon.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't whiskey.
So,
it was the bourbon.
bourbon
Of
This
the
of
is
the
my
year.
first time trying this. I have not
Oh,
had
wow.
this yet.
Well,
What's
how
yours
did you?
then?
I'm just going to ask you. How did you
Let me
not have
Kick you in
it?
the nuts.
No, how did you not have it when we had it? When you're the one who set the podcast up at Sandy's.
Yeah, we didn't have it at Sandy.
That's what made me want to buy it. It's the first time we were
Yes, you
there.
did.
we had this at Sandy's.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
I have
first-
had it.
The
Yeah.
first time
You know
we-
what I remember at Sandy's? The slushy.
We pulled it. Yeah.
I got the
yeah.
video of that
Oh my
still.
gosh. Yes.
So here's to what
Hey,
I mean.
To our friend Sandy
so
No.
when we were
Here's
there,
to our
the,
great friend Sandy
Sandy
No
No.
Yes,
for
Sandy
giving us
No.
the first
Yes.
taste of this.
So
yes,
I
the-
do
when-
remember this now.
But when
Yes.
we were there the
They
first
had
time, it
opened that
wasn't
bottle,
opened.
Fred and them.
It
the night
wasn't open
before.
the first time we were there. Remember we were
Yeah,
there
when we
earlier
went
the
back
way
for the
that
afternoon.
when you
Yeah,
did
for
the
the
surprise, it was opened.
Because
and
the night before,
I
Fred
had-
and them,
I-
Freddie and them opened
Oh,
it up with
I'm
some
having a
friends of
religious
theirs.
experience right now.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, making slushies with Sandy was one of my favorite things.
Oh,
No,
I'm
he's
just
having a
gonna tell
religious
you.
And I
experience
can't
because that
believe
just
we did not do that on
that
the
just blew away
recap
everything
and-
we tasted.
recap
There's not
and
even
the
this
year.
isn't even close. This is
Mouth feels on point.
oh my god. And the
It's not drying either. We've had all this stuff that's been drying us out, and this is not a
So-
drying one.
You still get the peanut, but not like the other peanut
what
that
it
was in Booker's. This
it's-
has a sweet,
Oh wow!
almost like a what's the corn?
we're gonna have to we're gonna
talk about it.
we don't
The-
got time to go
heirloom? No.
through this.
No, like that you eat. It's not popcorn. It's
Yeah.
kettle corn.
What's the
It's
proof
got a
on this one?
sweetness like
All right.
that.
About 116.
120 something.
119.
Even
What?
there.
Can either of you read?
He keeps moving it.
Jesus, look at a flashlight for you. Hold on, let me give it over here to the guy with good eyes.
Yeah.
I used to have better eyes. Let's see.
But you got better light.
119.3.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey, I was pretty close. 116.
I said 120.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
119.3.
closer.
Well, I said 119.
Does that mean I got 120? You didn't say 119.
You get the prize.
Thank you.
Fuck off.
Thank you, everyone
Oh my
who
God.
believed in me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take
Give it
this-
a-
I'm gonna
How are
take
you
this
giving
home
away
with
my
me.
bomb burgers? You
I'm gonna take this
What the hell
home.
is
I'm going to
going
take
on?
home the one that I brought with me. I'm not worried about those other ones.
I was actually thought I got the little book since I didn't have one. I was just going to. It's okay.
I'm just gonna tip everything
It's okay.
over. Think shit's gonna fall down.
I would have grabbed that one.
I
but
know.
that sign and
I
all
was,
that.
yeah.
Everything else would have tumbled like dominoes.
We'd have a parking lot party with that one.
Oh my god.
I've already dropped it in the
He's
parking
already
lot.
dropped it in the
Are
parking
you
lot.
shitting me?
No,
Not
the
that
old
one,
one.
the old one.
Oh,
Coming
I
out
said
of
that
coming
one.
out of the Knob Creek barrel pick. I let
Guys,
Steve
this is
Coombs
good.
and Randy
This is a
try
good
it.
one. This is definitely.
This is good. This
This
is
is-
going to be
This is
in the 4.
man. We got 2-3 killers left. Holy shit!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, I can't spin like you.
No kidding. You spin like a I'm telling you. I've said this for years. You spin like a washing machine.
Yeah.
That's why washing
That's
machines
what it
have
looks
This
lids.
is how a spin is. Yours is like a washing machine. Like
I
it
could
just
do it like this. This is how I could spin. I'm good
I
like
can
this. So
spin
from
like
now on,
that.
I'm
You
You know
spinning
what I
this
could say
way.
you spin like? Jefferson's Ocean.
I'm gonna.
See, the funny part is not that you're laughing at that. The funny part is that you think he's insulted by that because he's not.
That was my last joke.
Yeah, don't.
It went up my nose.
You got
Were
it.
you
Oh,
were drinking
my-
water? You were drinking
No,
whiskey?
that was my last sip of the whiskey.
right,
Oh my God.
right in your
Timing
ear.
could have been a
Look at
little
that.
bit better.
That's the way I'm spinning from now on. Look at that. I got to
You
go.
are way better at
Oh.
that than this.
So I'm not doing that ever again. You do it
I'm
from.
sorry, Nash.
I'm over. What the?
Whiskey's gonna have to do all this off camera. He's gonna have his own commentary.
Oh my God. I am wrecked.
You're wrecked.
Yeah. After that.
Well, daggone.
All right, so let's
I
move
don't
the
think
little
I can
book down.
smell anything
Yep,
else.
Little
No.
Book Infinite, fantastic so far. Will it hold up against the micro bottle of Discovery 12, which
Y'all share that one because I've had that one. So y'all worry about that. You'll take one out of the 4, and then Whiskey can have some of the
Little baby pour.
little baby.
Little
Billy.
baby
Good.
boy.
We're gonna have to use our little baby.
Oh
voices.
boy.
Little baby.
We're
Little
getting.
baby.
Okay.
Oh,
We're all gonna
great.
use our
We
helium voices.
I got a little elf pour.
Little baby pour.
Tiny.
It's right here.
Oh, is
All
it?
the way
It's
to
right there.
Santa's land. I got a little elf pour.
That's what all the pours should have been.
And then one for you because I know what it tastes like.
well,
I ain't gonna play that.
shame on you
Gotta
for
be
putting me
enough
in.
for tasting.
Shame on you for putting me in charge of pours.
You did good.
I
did
thought I
good.
did pretty good.
Don't let them get you down.
Yeah, thank you.
You know.
Appreciate it.
He's-
All right, there we go. Little baby bottle of.
Sometimes. he's
Okay, so what
insensitive.
we're drinking is Bardstown Discovery 12, which
Yes.
Was sent to us by a friend of the podcast. So yeah, that's perfect if it makes it.
yeah, I mean,
Andrew,
11 was fantastic.
I think he was
10
on
was also
earlier
good.
today.
Ooh,
But he
what a
sent
nose.
this 12
God, what a nose.
and it rated 17 out of 18 on the barrel bashing.
Right.
I barrel bashed it.
Right.
No
I
shit.
remember.
That's why
No
there's
shit.
none left.
Because he took
was
his
Maybe
a
you
full
should have
pour.
stopped.
Okay.
Well, he was told he was going to get a full
by
bottle.
himself and barrel
Yeah,
bashed it.
maybe-
And then
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In
Maybe
his defense,
he
it's a
should've
small
done
bottle.
Maybe he
pour,
should have
pour.
taken this pour and we should have got actual
Okay.
pours.
I'm with Tiny on this one because that was not his fault. I was on the
Oh,
podcast. I
oh.
was
You're an
on the
enabler.
comments.
You know that, right?
Yes.
You're
He
an
told
enabler.
me, I said I
I
was
didn't
going
sit
to
in
take
the bottle. I'm
it
not an
easy.
enabler.
But
Andrew
but
said-
you weren't
but
even
Andrew
there. You
said,
were like,
I'll
you were
send
like
up a
satellite.
bottle. I'll
You were
send
like
up a sample
satellite
for
podcast,
everybody
so-
Correct.
for
You
the
enabled him.
podcast today.
didn't you?
So he said, take a healthy pour. So I took a healthy pour.
I was drinking.
Have you-
10.
have you
I
got
never
the
got
12?
other
But
ones.
then he
No,
goes,
I have the 10.
I'm
I've
having
had the 12 twice.
problems
I-
shipping
I have not.
that with FedEx
this is
and
the first
and,
for me.
and
I think you're gonna be pleasantly
UPS. They've broken bottles and whatever.
Mm.
And he goes, I'm not doing that right now.
Yeah.
So,
12,
that's
11 was great. I've had 12, but it's been a while.
but 12, this is
I've not had
I
the 12.
haven't had the Discovery. My Discovery bottle's 3.
I've had 9. No, I've had an 8, a 10,
solid.
11, and 12.
Damn
Has a
it.
different note in it, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
sweet. It's really sweet.
It's sweet, but it's got a, what is that note?
Apricot,
It's
peach.
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 14 years.
It
white
hit you
peach.
immediately.
Yeah.
Like, you know what it
Delicious.
tastes like is like I'm trying to think of the peach tea that I drink sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona. It's got an
Oh, my
Arizona
God.
peach tea note.
Arizona
I got
peach
you.
tea.
It's like, where the hell did
Yeah.
that come from?
It's up there.
So
man.
Because
different.
that
It comes from the
you get
blend.
that you get that peach and then
Ooh.
you get that tea flavor. You know what I mean?
And I think for those people watching who haven't followed some of the Discovery series, they've been slowly blending in more Bardstown Bourbon Company. So if you were to look at this bottle right now, you would see Kentucky, and then you would see a Tennessee, and then you would see Bardstown Bourbon Company.
And the Kentuckys are 14-year-old. I mean,
Yes.
they're eight. The Discovery series is the more expensive between the Discovery and the Fusion.
For a reason.
Yes.
And the Discovery has some very good aged bourbon that Bardstown used initially before they started putting out their own brand. They were using for their brands, but those barrels have been aging. So they have them at 14, 15, and they put a decent amount of the 14-year into this series. So this is a little bit more expensive. But like you said, we talked about it, Steve Nally, when he talked to me a couple of years ago at the festival, he was talking about how they're going to get more and more of their stuff in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Discovery series has a commitment to that aged other whiskeys.
Yes. So they're buying barrels. When you talk to them about their Discovery series, they will tell you they can't tell you what's in it specifically, but they can tell you the mash bill. And they just tell you to Google the mash bill and it comes right up. So if you Google, Kentucky bourbon, this mash bill by percentage, you're going to get it to come up.
Where'd that bottle go? Let me have that, Jeff. So I like this. The peach note's very different than what we've drank.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to set it right here.
I'm going to show the YouTube viewers real quick and then.
All right. Old Fitz next?
No, that's got funk. Let's do Four Roses. I would never ever put something off of that Old Fitz.
Yeah.
That should be the last thing we
because
drink.
that's actually 25-year-old bourbon.
All right. So we're going to go with where Jeff and I were just at. We just did a podcast here
With Brent Elliott?
with Brent, and anybody watching, if you haven't been to Four Roses, absolutely a must stop.
That's got 14,000 views.
The Spanish influence of the distillery is absolutely amazing, but more than that, it's just how much they actually put into it. Brent is
You know what that reminds me? The distillery reminds
one
me
of the nicest damn guys.
Yeah.
ever.
Brent is super nice.
So you know how you drive through neighborhoods and like of upper class, there's always an upper class neighborhood you're driving through. And there's all these houses that are similar by the builder, but then there's always one or two houses that have that Spanish architecture, and it just sticks out. Like it's got a carport. You know, you're in Ohio, and there's a damn carport that's made for people have carports, not for Ohio. You know, you need garages in Ohio, but still, that's when you go to Four Roses. That's exactly what you feel like. You have all these distilleries. And they're all built, and they're rick houses. It's all about almost like the 1800s, and you get this feel of the earth and bourbon. And then you go to Four Roses, and you go there in the summer, and you feel like you just went to Mexico. And you also think that you're expecting to hear people starting to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, I'm not saying that at all. It's just kind of a cool thing.
But what I love about Four Roses, for anybody who hasn't been there, is that they have 10 mash bills. So they have what did he say?
Is this
Hey,
are we talking about
Marshall? Hey, Barrelhead, I am looking small on camera. I'm wearing a Mellow Corn sweatshirt that's a 2XL. Damn it.
It was a good
I
choice.
went from a medium to a 2XL.
No, you went for extra small to a 2XL.
Shut up. But back to Four Roses. So they have a blend that usually works. Their mash bills, like I think anybody can find something in Four Roses they like, whether you like the fruity sweetness, or you like a little more savory, or you want a little more oak.
Or you want something a little bit more baking rice spice to it.
You can get the oak, you
with
can
that
get
little
tobacco
bit of bite.
and almost a little smoke on it.
They kind of hit the whole thing. Now, what's wonderful that they're doing is now this is an amazing bottle. This is not available for everybody, but there's single barrels that are now coming out in each of the different 10 recipes.
Yes,
is fantastic.
And that's another thing that I wanted to touch on that Brent mentioned during y'all's podcast is that each one of these recipes,
this is mine.
They kind of, if you search out those single barrels, that they
just let me show it to
there's a few years in there that they start hitting their sweet spot.
OBSV, for instance, he would talk about that. Like it needs to get to a certain point, and that age helps it. OBSK, same way. But then the fruits of OES, I think it's OBSO. The fruit
When you
of
do the fresh crack
OBSO
of
was
this,
like,
it's
and I'm like,
unlike anything.
for most
six to
people,
8 years,
right?
This is
6 to
unlike
8
anything
years,
I've ever tasted.
It's popping at that point.
This is
But
bullshit.
yeah, that's what I thought
That's
was
bullshit.
so cool.
There's so much
when- during that
OBSK in
podcast.
there.
Well, he
That's
said
my-
this is
that's my-
OBSV
sorry,
and
and
OBSK.
but
Yeah.
there's more
I'm stepping
OBSK.
in front of a camera to give people a little bit better kind of shot of that because of the lights.
Hopefully, you get glare from it and you can't see while you're driving down the road.
Yeah.
And
So,
just to give
he's
everybody a
playing
little,
That was
little fact on
directly
that,
aimed at Andrew.
No,
that,
Andy's not at. He's at home.
yeah.
Are you in the Buckeye dungeon, Andy?
But we, me and Jeff were able to pick this bottle up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
With Walker.
Like,
Walker was
was
with
it
Randy.
Walker?
Randy's
I was
coming.
about 100 people
Walker
ahead of
was
you.
ahead
I'm
of
glad you guys were able to get it.
I was too.
Uh,
I think we did
Hey,
a little fist bump there. and-
why are
I
you
had,
kidding?
I had this.
We
I
felt
had this
sorry
rubber,
for you.
I had this rubber
itch.
blow up
All of a
ball
sudden, I had this
that
bad
was
itch
in
on the
line.
side of my
That was
head.
in line.
understand
That had a Melicorn.
I mean, it's not like there was ever
his
2
bottle's
bottles
gone.
available.
But they wouldn't give him a ticket.
That's okay.
All right,
That's
all
okay.
right.
You know why it's okay?
It's okay. Hey, listen, there's a bazillion freaking bottles out there.
Oh no, that's
so-
not why. That's not why. Because we have a little bit of an
Possibly.
understanding because I still owe you a visit.
Cheers, brother. Glad you're watching
When-
and tuning in.
When his bottle is
Barrelhead.
done, I'll just bring
Cheers, brother.
Mine won't go nearly as fast as long as I'm not like out in the west somewhere and I can't make it back.
Who are
I'll
you
bring the
cheering?
bottle over and we'll be
Andrew?
drinking it after this is
Barrelhead.
gone.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Yeah.
listen. So after the last bottle, I'm gonna guess that this is Jeff's bottle after he did a barrel bash of it. You know, like I had to do a barrel bash of it, so it's half gone.
Yeah.
This is what happened to this
Yeah.
bottle.
No, this is
Yeah.
this is no.
So we
this
get
is,
the
this
rest.
bottle.
Yeah.
No. This
He
bottle.
said no.
This
No,
bottle
did-
has been hit
Did
just
he not
as much
tell you
by
to make small
Roxy.
pours of it too?
Oh, okay.
I bring up a pour of this after almost every podcast, and Roxy likes that.
Lady's got good taste. You got to give it to
What's
her.
great about it,
You're well
again,
matched.
Four Roses, you don't get heat like you do from a lot of
Yeah.
other. It just has flavor and sweetness.
I
It
mean,
is
we didn't even
different.
go into the barrel. This is
So this is a lower proof, admittedly.
no
Yeah.
98.34.
It's under 100.
Yeah.
So it's lower compared to some of the barrel proofs we've been drinking. However, if you
The
have
body
not
on
had
this is just as big as anything that
oh
we drank.
absolutely. So
It's
if you
cheeks
guys have
and
not had
everything.
this-
Mm.
if you've not had this and you're looking at this going with prejudice, don't because you're going to miss out.
Oh,
Honestly, if you have a chance to get a pour of this,
wait
get
a
pour.
second. If you haven't had this yet, or you don't own it yet,
You're
you've
not getting
missed
it.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
the only
Because
chance
it's
you're
the
getting this is if you go to somewhere,
Or you come to
like-
my house because I'll share some with what I got left.
Yeah,
with
or
people.
mine.
Oh,
But if you're
You
going
will?
to a premium
can I have
bar,
some?
Yeah.
if you're going to a premium
Well,
bar,
Bring-
it's
bring
going to
your
be part of the
flask.
bourbon of the year. So yeah, you can have some
After it's done, can I have some more?
Yeah.
That bottle's
So-
gone tonight.
So if you're-
Wait, I didn't say you could have an endless amount of more.
Oh,
if you're
you
going
did
out and you see
not
this on the
say
shelf,
that.
Okay,
you have to
oh,
take it down
let's
for you.
let's
Because
hit.
if you see
All
this on
right.
the shelf and you confuse it for the regular small batch,
No.
don't get them to pull it down off the shelf and look at it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I just don't.
Take
Whiskey
it
should have
away.
been here.
and
All right,
put
so
it below.
let's pull that. Our last bottle, which I got to give. So this bottle came out mid-year. We were getting ready to go on a barrel pick for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival at. You remember?
Bluegrass?
Bluegrass Distillery, which we were getting ready to go. It's about a week out, and our good friend Stacy had posted
Who's
that
coming tonight.
this bottle had just come out, and she was showing it like, "Oh my God, Heaven Hill just released this," and I said, "Holy crap, I would love to get one of those." This is before any tasting reviews are done. Nobody had reviewed it because it hadn't come out yet. And I said, "Stacy, if you could ever get one, I would love one." She said, "I got an extra. You can have it. Just pay me for it." And I'm like, done. We meet at Bluegrass Distillery. So I give every bit of props to Stacy. And that's the reason I brought this bottle.
But
Because she allowed me to get a bottle that I could have waited overnight. I don't know how many times. You're in Kentucky. You know how this
I
is.
waited for 4 months, just so everybody knows.
well, we could
try
have
to get this
no
bottle,
wait,
to get that
no
bottle.
wait.
Yeah.
Once again, you could have got this bottle easily at Kentucky Bourbon
Kentucky
Festival.
Bourbon
Okay.
Festival.
That
Well,
is
unless
Relative,
your
yes.
kid had a broken leg and you had to leave. So
we were
I couldn't.
VIP.
Or
I
you
could
had
have
a
got
slave-
that bottle.
Or you had
line
a
of the whole thing.
slave driver.
Yes,
Yes, but I
sit
when the
you
line
down
wasn't
on
even a line
podcast
today,
interviews.
I walked up wanting to get it, and then I was.
I wanted to be in line.
So
We
out of
need to go interview
everything we're
these people over
tasting
here.
tonight, this is by far the most expensive bottle. This
Well-
is over $300 freaking dollars.
Well, secondary, this bottle's even higher.
Is that
Yeah,
why
no,
you
this
sent me
bottle's
out
eight-
away from the
800
line
to
and would not let
1,000
me get in line
secondary.
to get it?
It's
the whole
$335,
stuff is
and I
close.
just said I was passing on $335.
But
Because-
I wanted it.
now
I
the-
could have
Old Stubborn
Then why
Makers
didn't you
10 or
go?
close if you're just
because you
paying
sit me out
retail
working
fee. Yeah, if you're
You were
paying-
not
away from the line.
So-
You're not working.
So this
Slave
bottle
driver.
retail, okay,
Podcast
initially
slave
was
driver.
$249. Okay, that's what the original retail was $249.
It's
It has
320, I
went
think,
up
actually.
and went up and went up since it got released, because every time Heaven Hill releases it,
Oh,
it
that's
has
right.
literally gone up.
So
And
in other words, when we hit the
secondary-
festival, $335 was like at its peak.
I did not pay that.
No, the peak for this is
At
over
Heaven Hill?
750.
Yeah.
Oh, at
Oh.
Heaven Hill.
I've seen
It was
people.
the festival
it was
was
the same.
$335. I'm sorry.
I've
I'll go
seen
back and look, yeah.
secondary people pay $1,000.
Yeah, I've
Easy.
seen it up
Easy.
to 1,000 on secondary.
Yeah,
Now-
no. In my defense of not buying that bottle, I think when we were with the Detroit, and a shout out to Jerome and the Detroit gang for helping at Kentucky Bourbon Festival and allowing us to be a part of their celebration that night. That between Nash, me, and CT, I think
This
we
is just
drank.
glass. I promise.
We drank.
Which one?
This one.
What are you doing? Where's my glass?
I got it right here.
Which is this?
Yeah,
Yes.
that one's it.
The hell it is. Listen, and Jeff was just getting ready to talk about it. You hogged. Give me my damn glass. Nash was going like a freaking
I should have poured it in.
wild Wolverine all over the damn. What?
A bottle there. It's like so. The next time I went was the appreciation for the workers party.
For the
Yeah, and it was
workers'
gone
party.
because
No.
Nash drank it all.
And I looked at the bottle and I'm like, that's a really good bottle. And she goes, yeah, you guys weren't easy on it the last time.
Nash wasn't easy.
Yeah, I have to admit, I kind of hit it pretty
So,
hard.
Yeah,
It
this
was good.
So this is a Dusty. So it's a
it's-
13 year, but it sat in a steel container for 12. So this is 25-year-old distilled from 25 years since was distilled.
Yeah.
And what happens is a lot of Dusties that sit in bottles for 20, 25, 70s, from the 70s,
Wow.
whatever, they all have a certain flavor that's consistent on Dusties. It doesn't matter whether it's
And
a bean
and
Dusty
and
or a Dan
aroma,
Dusty.
too.
They all have that
Yeah,
same
yeah.
flavor, but most of them have this funk. And
So-
this is
Funk.
when you taste it, it's got the dusty consistent flavor, but it then has
It's got
regular
yes.
it's
It's a marriage between today and
right.
the
It's got
yesteryear.
regular
yesteryear.
bourbon
It's-
flavor instead of
it's
that
just
dusty
amazing.
funk.
So the other thing about this, so if you don't know Old Fitz, they label their bottles color-wise depending on when they're released in the
Yeah.
year. This is a VVS, very, very special.
Special.
100 proof, which again, we've drank some 120 some proof stuff. But
I don't know where to even when I drink this. I don't know where to put that in modern whiskey. Like I don't even know if this can be in the bourbon of the year because, in my opinion, it doesn't taste like a bourbon of any of this year. It tastes of a bourbon of yesteryear.
Well,
God,
you
it
go
tastes
by
like-
it because it
it
released
tastes like
this year.
something I want to drink every damn pour. If I could,
Yes.
if I only had one pour, I'm like, God,
That's why you want it to be bourbon of the year because
this
of
is
that
so
reason.
good.
This is like so
my
so.
God.
This is cheating.
It-
I
it
think
is.
I might
It's a
pull-
cheat code.
It's,
No,
yeah, it's
no,
like
I don't
throwing
think-
a ringer right there in the middle
No.
of the mix.
No, I don't think I'm going to allow this in bourbon.
It's
of the
like
year.
bring.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
So I'm still glad that we did
what?
this. For those of you
Oh,
who are
You
watching,
can't
who
do
haven't
that.
done,
You can't do
Okay.
that.
I could do whatever.
so
the
did we tell the
hell I want.
backstory? Did we already tell the backstory?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about
But
it.
I mean,
You
but I
can't
mean,
do
this is
that.
like I don't give a shit how you blind this. I'm gonna know it it's not like there's any fooling me what this is.
I know.
There's no.
Yeah.
So when we're doing
Nature's
this,
10 is the only thing that compares anywhere close
So-
on the nose and so forth.
I
would
think
argue
the
against it. I would
little
say that
book
Old Stubborn has some
and Old
similar-
Stubborn,
that has
those
some
all whatever, but it's stupid.
Dude.
It's like a cheat. It's like you can't put that in there.
I prefer the Larceny.
We could put a side category that it wins Bourbon Dusty
It's
of the
still-
year.
Well, I don't know because see,
I mean,
Should I have brought the Heaven Hill 11
no,
or 12? What is that? The blue one. The
the
bottled and
18.
bond.
The
It said
18.
18.
13. 13. The bottled and bond 13.
The one from earlier in the year that's the William Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
The earlier in the year, the Heaven Hill Heritage is an 18.
Yeah, the William Heaven Hill was pretty damn
What I was
Ooh.
kind of disappointed
yeah.
this year in is that I really felt that Wild Turkey had a good year, but they didn't have anything that went
No,
off
they
their
released
special. Even their 15.
the Rick House.
okay,
good.
Walker, bring all the bottles back up in a line across through there.
All right.
So you can't see us because we're the ugly ones.
So we're going to start with the Larrikin because that was what we had first.
They've seen us for over an hour.
Let's move this over here
But-
since whiskey's not here yet.
It's time.
Yep.
We've got.
I
To
don't know
narrow
how
this
he's not
down.
here.
We've got to pick 4 of these 10 bourbons.
And I don't have a catheter, so at some point,
You
I
know,
have to
he
use
was
the
gonna
bathroom.
bring the Pappy 12.
Who? Whiskey. He's not
Somebody,
here.
Someone walked in.
I just heard somebody come in the door.
It's
Oh,
Roxy.
he's dinging bottles.
I just
I heard
heard
a
a room.
look-
listen,
at
We
the
haven't
front
made
door.
a decision yet, so if he brings something at this point,
Yeah.
We could just taste it and add it in.
yeah, I'll
So
add
we're,
it.
we're
Yeah.
blocking.
Oh, but are
Well,
we
did-
excluding
did-
bottles now?
I didn't
Yes.
exclude any.
Yeah.
bottles.
Oh,
no.
you said we were excluded.
I can do anything I
No,
want.
I'm
I'm the
excluding.
man.
with the
I'm the man.
I'm excluding this bottle because hey, is there
I have
more?
a YouTube.
I mean, no, what? No, I.
Says I have,
So
I have 50
I'll
million
trade you.
viewers.
The hell you will.
You do realize, however little this goes down afterwards,
Oh.
this goes down afterwards.
Marcus wants to know the name of that last one, and just show him the bottle.
It's old.
You'll never be able to get it, brother.
It's
I don't even have it.
dude.
Well-
if you go camp out at
I don't know how you didn't
at
get it.
Heaven Hill, there are
and
still some.
I'll
being
tell you
released,
later
but it's
That
I've not seen that, but
it's
that
but
Jeff
it's-
worked me so hard and would not
Well, now
let me
they're
get
on
in the
to
live
that.
Kentucky Bourbon
Yeah.
Festival,
William
so
Heaven
that's why I
Hill
don't have the
stuff is
bottle.
pretty much-
So, Marcus, this is a 13-year old Fitzgerald, very,
That
very
was-
special release, only to distillery.
You know,
Because it was aged. They
kept it. It was
Kept
pre.
it
Well, it's pre.
Steel
So,
tank.
so it's pre-fire. That's the
pre-fire.
other thing.
Yeah, it was.
So Heaven Hill burnt to the ground
Yeah,
because
okay,
these
so-
barrels
Hold on.
were
Yeah,
dumped
it's
into
not-
a
Ran
tank.
after the fire.
yes, and they
So
moved this. This is
post-fire.
this is post-fire.
Yeah,
Then
They-
everything moved to Old Granddad because they bought
Correct.
the distillery at Old Granddad
And
to
these
distill while
barrels,
they were
Marcus,
rebuilding.
Correct.
And that's
they
this
dumped
is-
these barrels into a steel
Tank.
holding tank and left them there for 12
years.
years in the
Because-
back of a warehouse.
They thought it was special.
and then
Yeah.
they sold it to me.
Yeah.
No. Technically, Stacy
They
sold
sold
it
it
to you.
to you. Yeah.
Listen,
but it was
Stacy was a mule.
13-year-old bourbon when they dumped it in.
Say whatever you
Be
want.
careful. You're going to see her later. Be careful, my friend.
So,
No, I've already
technically,
said
it's
thank
a
you because
25-year-old bourbon, Marcus.
Be careful which names you use.
no, Stacy was. If
Stacy
it weren't
was
for
a friend.
Stacy, I would
Where
have
the hell
never
is?
gotten
All
it.
right,
friend.
wait a second. Who's got an open phone that we can call Whiskey? Where the
No,
hell is
I'm not
he?
calling Whiskey. If he's not here, he'll get here when he gets
Oh,
here.
you want to buy one? Well, it's about $1,000 on secondary market. Oh, Marcus is, his pockets are deep, so
He's
he
smart.
can
guy.
afford it.
If anybody, I haven't even seen any for sale lately. Like
Yeah,
it was
I
running for
haven't.
sale for a while,
Yeah.
and then it. I remember
Marcus, we'll talk after.
a
That-
couple of guys talked about the fact
Oh,
that it would be
Walker's
for sale.
gonna sell you his bottle.
I didn't say that.
You guys, we
I
gotta,
can
we
imagine
gotta,
I
we
get
gotta
Marcus
get this.
some.
We gotta get this going.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been trying to hold off as
So-
long as we can for Whiskey, but he didn't.
So let's
make it.
eliminate. Let's eliminate.
So he
Yes.
can be part of it. And okay, if he brings something that we all think
35.
can get in there, we'll do a fifth one
Yeah,
for him.
let's
to add in.
eliminate.
Yes.
I'm eliminating the Bookers.
Well, you can't eliminate my. If I
Okay, hold on. That's
no, you.
He's-
Everybody, just you pick what you want.
No, you got to pick
I like
one
that.
that you
Yours.
want
that.
to
What
be
do you
in it.
want?
So what one
You
I
only
want
can
in?
pick one
Yeah.
that you
You
want
pick what
in.
you
So
want.
we'll start with with Walker.
Walker
and go around.
subbing from him.
That's the one that I'm putting in. I'm putting in the Larceny C924. That's the one that I'm putting in.
Oh,
I'm putting
out
in
of
the old
all,
Fitz.
out of
It's
that,
freaking
that
amazing.
you're saying
Yes.
that beats out everything that you've seen.
I'm saying
I'm not
putting
gonna.
it in.
You're CT, and if you were like John, if you were like Young Nose, or you were like Xavier, I tell you go fuck yourself. But I'm not
Wow.
going to because
Wow.
you're CT,
Okay.
and you can put
All right.
it in.
So we got
I-
2 in.
Yep.
Nash, which one are you picking to stay in?
I can.
Oh my god!
Take
I
your
know
time.
what one Jeff's picking.
I know.
I'm gonna
what
have to go with the
Pick the 4 roses.
4 roses.
So Jeff has to pick something.
I would
No,
do
I
that.
was really happy he
I would
picked.
do that to you.
No,
I was
no,
either gonna
it's
go
not the-
cellar aged or 4 roses.
All right, so
No,
now
no.
Jeff gets to pick.
Oh no, it's like honestly, I knew my 2. What do you think I'm gonna pick?
Wow. I said you would pick Infinite.
It was between the 2, but what I really think when you're talking about a bourbon of the
Yeah,
year,
I get it.
okay, there's these big bourbons. Little Book is something you're gonna drink by the fire. Everything we picked except for
think
the
such a
Old
big
Fitz is a drinker where it can be a fire, it can be
All right.
every day, it could be
So
even
let's move those.
even
so we
if
can see
on the
what our final
Larceny,
4
Yeah.
are.
even the Larceny could be a mixer.
Okay, so our pick for this year, our
Get thee
final,
from me,
our
brother.
final 4
Move your glasses.
Booker's didn't make it.
is going to be a Larceny barrel proof, which is ironic because Elijah Craig C923 last year was in our finals.
Yeah.
So we got a Larceny C924. We've got a
Old
Fitz 13.
A cheater.
GBS.
There's no way I'm
And
not.
a 4
I have
roses.
to decide whether I
And a
want.
Michter's
Well,
10.
it just comes down to, am I going to
to
give? You know what? I'm just going to put. So since you put it in there,
Small
it's like
batch.
when you
Yeah.
get you're just
This
getting a
one's gonna
4
go
on
last.
that one.
Oh,
And
wait a minute.
now,
I-
just to get,
You don't
to
even know what the ones I
if-
like.
if our buddy Whiskey makes it, he's
could
got
have
2
one
to
more.
enter.
Yeah.
And we can taste
could
between
pick-
those 2,
He
and we
he can pick from what we picked from and what he brought.
and what he brought. Yeah.
So the
which
thing
we
I
get
will
to
say,
taste the 2 that he brings.
this thing I will say about your cheater bottle thing. Okay, we're picking whiskey of the years to be released in 2020.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon.
Okay.
Bourbon.
Okay, bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon to be
Bourbon.
released in 2024.
Bourbon.
The fact that what Old Fitz did, what Heaven Hill as a brand did with that bottle, to hold it when the market is crazy, it's stupid for the past several years.
Yeah.
To hold it knowing that it had reached its peak point,
Peak point. Yeah.
to me says something compared to a lot of the others out here.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it was
Yeah.
more marketing than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I don't know
Whiskey
about that. I have
whiskey
to agree
doesn't
with you.
age in a
Because
steel
look,
container.
No,
no,
they
uh-uh.
knew they knew
No,
what was
look,
in there. They knew what
Because
was in there.
look,
It was good.
no,
But they-
listen. I'm gonna.
But then when they released it, it was marketing.
Here's the proof and point.
All right.
And I'm
Let's
gonna
hear
I'm
Nash.
gonna tell you proof and point. Dan McKee and Andrea Wilson did the same exact thing every year. They go for the 10-year and they taste it,
That's great.
and they held it back.
Yes.
That's true.
They held it back, did not release it.
Yeah, but they
Because-
didn't stick it in a steel container then.
Yes.
They let it age longer, yo. This
That's
is a
correct.
steel
If
container
they- if-
stopping the aging.
Oh,
Okay.
it's okay.
You're
You don't have to
correct.
get upset.
You're correct.
Don't
Well,
get mad.
and-
Don't
Hey,
make
look,
a point.
Their
Don't make a point
distillery
that
did not
YouTube,
burn
don't
down.
get mad.
Their distillery didn't burn down. They didn't have a chance to.
This
But
is
I'm
ancient.
sure if
Their
distillery,
cavemen when it
if
burned
it
down.
burnt,
When
if it
heaven-
burned down,
Heaven
they
Hill
would have
burned
put
down when
3 years
when they
post
read
put
fire.
some barrels
Yeah,
in there too.
yeah,
with
heaven-
it.
Years
Yeah.
post fire.
Yeah,
'Cause
heaven,
Dan and
it was
Andrew-
already
hey,
it's all new distillate already at their new
Dan and
distillery.
Andrew are right up
From
there.
a different distillery technically, but they bought the brand, they own the brand,
Yep.
and they knew that this was special. Hence, very,
VBS,
very special.
yes.
Yeah,
VBS.
VBS.
They're-
Now, I am not disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
I'm
they were
agreeing with you
special, and
completely.
we're like, we'll just wait till we could sell it for $300 a
I
bottle.
don't think that's it at all.
It-
no one,
Well,
no one
started out
5
at
years ago would
$2.49.
pay $300 a bottle.
But
Hey.
it wasn't originally. It was 240.
all right.
What they have. What
Not
they
5 years
Everybody
ago. Now they
suffered
do.
through this enough. I'd
mean,
like
people
to
have
thank
paid that
everybody.
much.
No, no
for
suffering.
watching.
The holiday
minute.
bottle. The holiday bottle off the shelf. Let's go.
I mean, but there's people out there
Walker,
who paid this
can
for
you hand us the
regular
holiday
Blanton.
bottle?
But don't knock anything off the shelves. It's
But
very
I mean,
close.
seriously, like people have paid $300 for a regular bottle of Blanton.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
From the distillery?
No,
That's not the
No.
criteria.
No.
That's
no,
not the
no.
criteria.
This is
But people-
$1,000.
okay,
That's
but
not the
people have
criteria.
paid.
I'm chugging if you keep up.
You better put my bottle down.
That's on you, and you're gonna only hurt.
You're gonna
yourself.
lose a lot of shit if that's the case.
All right,
All right,
Nash,
dude.
let's
All right,
talk
what are we
about
doing?
this.
Are we
frickin-
drinking another one?
This
Yes,
is the
sir.
holiday.
Bathroom.
This is our
I'll let you out. You need to go.
our holiday pour. There's no going to the bathroom. You
Well,
were
I already
podcast.
did.
Hey, this is
Well,
this is
you're
a
not-
holiday
you're not a
pour
direct
just to
crying.
Podcasters don't go to
celebrate.
the bathroom. Just you don't know.
Celebrate.
Do you know one night, Walker, you were on afterwards for another hour,
I
and
do.
I still didn't go to the bathroom.
know.
I waited. That's professionalism.
I never said I was
Oh,
a
my-
professional. I just said I was a friend.
Marcus, you lie. Just like I said
Hey,
during our family Christmas.
Marcus.
My
Oh!
brothers and sisters lie.
Why did it do that?
Go get toothpicks. Marcus, prove it.
Did you open this?
Go get
Did you open
toothpicks
this?
and a
No.
wine. If she has a wine cork
No.
or two,
Why didn't you tell me that? I thought you had
Give
it
me that
open.
bottle.
No,
Give me
I
a-
did. I told you I did
give me
not
the
open
bottle.
it.
We're gonna open it. Don't worry. So everybody watching that's gasping because Jeff ruined
Why are
this
you
bottle.
being so? You're being
So-
stop that noise.
I love the fact that this is
He
a
set me up.
wait.
He broke it before.
Hey.
This is a
Okay.
decanter that Nash brought that has aged. It's a 12-year decanter.
We got
That-
cheers.
Oh boy, here we go. So
It's a Kentucky bourbon.
you
from-
talk about it while I do a
Yeah.
Brad Bonds to it.
All right. It is from Merida Spirits Limited from Clifton, New Jersey. It's a 1973 porcelain decanter. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon. It's 90 proof, aged 12 years. And it's a special Christmas
Now wait a minute. It's special Christmas, but
or
talk about more of where this thing was.
this was
This is different than just a special Christmas
Yeah.
bottle.
well this was part of
He's
the
bracing
ones
it.
of the ones that I acquired that belonged to my dad, and that I had put up. Like I say, my mom had these things put up,
It's so soft.
and so when he passed away, I took all these things and
Almost.
I wrapped them up in
Did that break
in
apart?
sheets and
No.
pillowcases and stuff,
Let me see.
and put them up in boxes and duct tape them. And I really didn't even know that I remember that I even had these because I never was into bourbon and whiskey. But
We need full quarter.
You ready,
pours.
Nash?
yeah,
So-
and
so what we did with the cork was we stabilized the cork to keep it out of the whiskey because
So
obviously
this wasn't really my fault.
we
was
don't want to.
No.
No, I mean a
That's
decanter from
age.
68 or no 73.
73.
A
Yeah.
decanter from 73. The cork is going to break.
51 years
Yeah.
old.
Well, feel the softness of your cork.
Yeah.
That's 51 years old.
Wait a minute.
And I have a similar one.
I think you set me up for that.
Yeah,
I have a similar one from about
You're so
51.
wrong because you're
But-
so wrong.
But everyone,
It's your cork.
This
You
is
know how soft
this
it
is a special pour of
Thank you,
something that
Nash.
has been a family thing for how many years, and now
Yeah.
we are going to drink it
on
live.
Christmas.
Dude.
Yeah.
This is Christmas.
This
This is what
yeah,
bourbon is
this-
about.
It's
Everybody.
amazing
Let's
to
do
me.
yours
that,
first. and then-
No, you're good.
like I say, look at the clarity of that.
That's incredible.
At
I
least
mean-
it's not cloudy.
Got a little bit, but that's not bad.
I got a little piece of cork twinkling in there, Clark.
You do? God
Yes,
dang it.
but you did the best you could. That's fine.
Hey.
Hey, where's
You
the
did
cat?
great. You did great.
Has anybody seen the cat?
So 1973,
Yep. That's
Now,
before I was born. That's
a
11
New
years before I was
Jersey-based
born.
You
company.
do
with
realize
a
if we spin
Kentucky-
together, we got a thing going. I got the
we,
top.
we have
and you
zero
got the
things
bottom.
going. Zero. But a Kentucky distillate, which we do not know what Kentucky distillate this is.
We do not.
This is 51 years old.
And at the time,
It could
according
be
to NEC,
52. I was born
Yeah.
in 75, and I'm not
Yeah.
50 yet.
Yeah.
according to the NEC, it was 12 years and 90 proof at the time.
Oh my God!
At the time, it was 12
note on
years
this
old.
on the notes.
Yeah.
So we're
So
talking
73. and
61.
So,
Can this-
Here, put
oh
this
my
in front of
gosh.
those. So
Can
you
this
see
be
it.
the bourbon of the year?
Listen,
No.
I think this
Whether
beats
this is the bourbon of the
Oh
year,
my
it's the
gosh.
bourbon of the year for the fact that Nash brought this
this to
off of his family's mantle.
and it,
Yeah.
you think
It's
it
the
was your
bourbon of the year.
mother's, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
cheers to that.
Cheers
Yeah,
to
that's
the Nashes,
amazing.
all your brothers,
Like I say,
my brother, your
Yeah.
my brothers. This is what bourbon. This is why the ridiculous bill in Ohio that they want to crack all the allocated bottles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That wouldn't
that
exist.
doesn't exist.
No.
This has been corked
And
since
I just-
1974.
I just want to ask Marcus. Marcus, do you ever remember seeing any of these decanters sitting over in the bottom of the shelves that Mom had? Because I didn't know that
the cherry.
she had
Hey, that
these
doesn't even have a
until
dusty note.
like I say,
it's different
until
than that
It's
damn.
cherry.
our dad passed away. But
It's got a
cherry
little
cherry.
dusty, but it's more cherry.
But not the Dant has more. I mean,
This has
not
got more
the Dant.
bite.
No, even the old Fitzgerald has more dusty on
Correct.
it than this does. There's
Correct.
not that smoky flavor. This
Could-
is more pure.
Could this be Barton?
No, it's not 1974.
So it had to be either Heaven Hill,
where's
Beam,
the top to it? Set the top back on
Right here,
top.
right
of it.
there.
Yeah,
so
just
it's
set it on
Beam,
top of it.
Heaven Hill. Who else could it have been in that time?
I'll get you a cork that'll actually cork it.
Wild turkey, technically.
Could have been
Wait,
wild
are you
turkey.
leaving that here?
Yeah, that's yours.
That
Are you
You
kidding me?
need, yeah, that's his.
Holy shit!
Yeah, you need to put that in a decanter.
Yeah, you need to put that in a glass.
In a
Yeah, something.
something to hold
a
it.
rubber stopper decanter. You know, something
Yes.
not a plastic.
Do you have an old bottle that's got a rubber? Yeah, you've got a rubber topper, like from.
I've got a cork that will cork that.
No, you don't
There's
want a
pieces
cord.
of
that-
cork.
or synthetic.
Hey, grab that Dant bottle.
So the problem is
I
that
will-
has
oh.
pieces of cork on the
On
inside.
the
Well, if it
inside
does,
of it
what
is
I'll
stuck.
do is
That's why it
I'll
needs to-
decanter it, I'll filter it, and put it back in the bottle and put a
No.
Look at see this one.
He had a
Decanter it and just
look.
put it into a quart mason
He had a
jar.
companion
That's
cork
what I
that
do.
fit.
That's what I do with it.
He had a
I
synthetic.
found a wilderness trail that fit on this,
That's
but-
rubber.
but that one was a rubber with a like a ceramic bizarre top on it.
God, this is
So this works
this is
really
good.
well.
This is
If
this kicks the shit out.
If you do
I
that,
think
you
it's got a
do
little more
have to
kick to it.
decanter that
I'm
and,
halfway.
and scrape
halfway.
that cork off of it
But it's
because that
definitely
cork
different.
that cork will taint the taste
Mhm.
of the whiskey.
So do you want
Yeah,
me
you'd have to clean that
So
bottle.
what
Yeah.
I'll do
yeah,
is
that's what I was telling.
yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll
Now
pour it
it's-
all out and
and
I'll get
scrape
it all.
that-
I'll
scrape-
completely get everything out, and then
Yeah.
I'll put it back in
Yeah.
and put
Yeah,
a cork. I'll find a cork that matches.
Jeff, you
rubber.
might be able to take the topper and wallow it out and put a cork in it
yeah.
and,
One of those
and
rubber
super glue
toppers.
it and make a rubber topper for
Yeah.
it.
You
Yeah.
probably could.
There might be a little
I
one
haven't
that
tried
fits
that.
right
I have
in
a-
there, right?
I have a.
No, I don't have to
Hill
super glue
bottle.
anything. For Christmas, I got my
I have a
wife
project for that. I
a
need to do it.
turbo glue gun, and we are talking about battery operated.
Oh, from Ryobi?
No, it was like it's pink.
I
It
have
looks,
a
it
Ryobi
is a,
one that's
it is
killer.
a Barbie Maserati glue gun of glue guns. I mean,
Oh, Nash.
fucking yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody. Let's end it on
I love
on
you,
the,
brother.
You love
the
you too.
Yeah.
I don't
You wanna
even
end it
know
on
how
YouTube
this
first?
shit
Cheers.
happens.
Cheers.
This is amazing.
it's like this is
Oh,
what
God.
it is. It's family, it's bourbon.
This
This is my favorite time of the year.
Oh my
I hope
gosh.
whiskey makes 2:00. I don't know how
Yeah.
he didn't make 10:00.
Maybe he's picking up lunch.
Where are we going to lunch?
Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll
All
find
right,
out.
we're
now.
going
We'll
to-
fix
Thanks
that.
for watching,
We're gonna go to
everybody.
Winking
Yeah.
Lizard. Winking Lizard
Yes.
because they got good pours. And
Thanks for watching,
Wait, now,
everybody.
hold on. Okay, so start.
I just want to thank everybody, and this right here, just
That's
this to me,
delicious.
it just
It has
makes
more
everything
flavor
so
than it.
wonderful.
I still like the Kentucky.
Oh my
Town
gosh, I
Captain
wish I could share a
that
pour
we
of
had
this with
Brad.
every one of you out
That's
there.
still my favorite of these.
There's a lot
That's
of them.
amazing.
Yeah, maybe one day I can. Just oh my gosh, it's awesome.
All right,
This is
everybody.
beautiful.
So
So good bourbon.
www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all your Scotchy Bourbon Boys
Link
merchandise.
errands, t-shirts.
Just Facebook
And
message me for
We've
anything.
got people asking about hats.
We got hats. We can get them.
Yeah.
And before
We got
long, we're
somebody
gonna have to be
last night wanna
sponsored
buy-
by
yeah.
a Porta-John because I'm gonna have to use the bathroom so bad. That Porta-John, if you want to sponsor the podcast, we gladly set one here. And we'll
Anyways,
use
all
it.
right. And remember Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. We were at YouTube and Facebook Live
some
today.
Please, if you watch,
Um,
please go there, leave good feedback.
Wait,
5 stars.
Apple, iHeart,
Oh, okay.
and
Spotify.
Five.
plus any other one
Yep.
you listen on. And now go on.
And if you do, leave us a good review, good feedback,
Comment,
comment,
listen,
listen,
subscribe.
and subscribe.
and,
And
then
remember to live.
no good bourbon,
Equals good friends, and
good times, drink responsibly,
don't drink and drive,
and
live your life uncut and unfiltered.
Little Steve-O is going to
Take us out.
And with a little bit of cork.
We are at the ultimate whiskey bar. Where's the next?
All right, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
The pours tonight at Gervasi.
What?
Yep.
Fucking
What's he gonna have?
midwinters
Oh, night dram.
dram, and then he's also got Taylor sing upstairs.
I gotta go upstairs.
Yeah, that's dead.
Okay.
It died.
So he's gonna have what else?
Taylor single barrel. He's got. I mean, they just got a lineup of just everything.
Everybody's hearing this live. Come to our Christmas party tonight at Gervasi.
I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die.
I had a little bump. And
What's it say?
it says 6 currently watching.
No. Okay. How many? Okay.
I don't
Did
know.
you stop it?
I haven't stopped it yet.
All right, I'll stop it. Here we go.